What's up? Is there anybody out there? Just not if you can hear me. Is there anybody home? Maybe we'll do this video here. Share screen. Oh no, first off, about nickel and constitutional stacker. I almost forgot to say this. About 5 weeks ago, 3 weeks or so before the election, I offered no less than 3 times, probably more, to debate constitutional stacker. Him and Nickel said, "Nah, we think too much alike." I was like, "Okay, fine. We think too much alike. If that's the box you're putting me in." Then last night, he said I was a forever Trumper. So, to his own admission, he is either a forever Trumper or he's a liberal that stuck me in a box 3 weeks before the election, giving me his thoughts and then putting me on the shelf saying, "This is what you think. I don't need to debate you. I know what you think." But now 5 or 6 weeks later, he absolutely has no idea what I think. Void, he had the opportunity to find out 3 weeks before the election. He obviously forgot that part of everything, because if you're liberal, you move the goalpost. So there's a couple indicators that you've already given that you have a base liberal thought process, and it needs to be checked if you don't want to be called out. That's all. Hey, what's up, Hunter? Let's see here. I was going to share the screen here. Share screen. Here we go. This is about South Africa, obviously. I'm on them lately because they're going to be going down soon.
Chris, in central Pennsylvania. You know, there's been an awful big blitz about Donald Trump and how he's pressuring South Africa and trying to interfere with internal affairs. And the reality, as I've said over and over again, is that President Trump simply suspended or ended financial assistance, foreign aid to South Africa, based on a long list of grievances that the African National Congress has done against the interests of the United States, including working with Iran's nuclear program, according to the U.S. government. But the rest of these things we've all seen in plain sight. The executive order that has got them in such a tizzy also said that the government ignores the rights of part of its population. Yeah, it's true. It's also got a lot of other problems. But the point here is that look at all the effort to dispute what Donald Trump has to say, calling him a liar, telling me he's misrepresenting. The government saying, the media especially, you got to wonder about what's going on in South African media. It's a hard press, such a hard press to tell a narrative that's contrary to the reality on the ground. And why is that? Well, here's the thing. If Donald Trump simply issued an executive order that only affects the internal affairs of the United States, that's right, these are internal affairs. Whether we give foreign aid assistance to a foreign country is an internal affair for us. And frankly, the United States doesn't have the money. As I said, in last year's fiscal year budget, the Biden administration spent $2 trillion, not million, not billion, $1 trillion more than it took in. That's deficit spending. That means that the government had to borrow $2 trillion and suck it out of our economy, depressing economic growth, money not available for businesses to expand, for people to buy homes, driving up interest rates, making things more expensive and more dear. And on top of that, they buried us in debt, which our grandchildren, if we're still alive, if they're still around, will have to pay off with interest. Why in the world should we give South Africa $500 million that we'll be paying off for the next 30 years that they're going to squander this year or use this year when the government in South Africa is not taking care of that need itself? How is that our responsibility? That's an internal affair for us. That's the first thing. The second thing is that the decision to extend or open the refugee resettlement program to people in South Africa is an internal decision for the United States. Now, South Africa may not like it. It may offend their sensibilities, but it's not affecting them. It's affecting the United States. We're the ones that have to pay for it. We're the ones that have to bring people here. We're the ones that have to resettle them, absorb them into our community and our society, not South Africa. So the ANC can take umbrage, but we've arrived at this juncture because of their actions. They're the ones who did it, not Donald Trump. It's the ANC. They're fully responsible for this. So imagine this, ladies and gentlemen. The newspapers are constantly saying Donald Trump is taking punitive action against South Africa. He's threatening South Africa. He's intruding affairs. Imagine if he actually did that. Look at all the people are freaking out, all the people who are inquiring about refugee status, all the media trying to go out of the way to rubbish how great America is and say bad things about America, and all the nonsense to stand up and
What's
puff
up,
the
JM?
chest and the EFF and MK and less so MK, but ANC and other parties talking about, pride in South Africa. Where was that pride in South Africa before February 7th when Trump issued the executive order? It was nowhere to be found. And this doesn't come from a place of dislike or animosity towards South Africa. Those who know me know I have great affinity for South Africa, but it wasn't there other than in a Springboks game. And now suddenly you're all proud to be South Africans with the streets falling apart, the ports out of service, the rails ripped up, electricity, a luxury that people never get, it seems. And suddenly it's all pride. South Africa's great. Well, South Africa is great, but its political parties aren't. And its governance is atrocious. And unfortunately, it affects all South Africans, black, white, and brown. And that's reality. So again, think about this. Imagine if and when Donald Trump actually takes punitive action against South Africa, which given the way the ANC and politicians in South Africa keep acting, it may very well be happening soon. You keep insulting the people that give you money, that give you preferential access to their market, don't expect reciprocity. And do you think they're stupid? They're just going to keep giving you it? I'd suggest you knock it off, politicians in South Africa and the media especially. But when Trump takes real action, real punitive action against South Africa, something like, I don't know, removing you from the African Growth and Opportunity Act, which, by the way, South Africa, by its own actions, has made itself ineligible for. You've abrogated private property rights. Nil compensation is not just and fair. That's not. So you've abrogated those property rights, not us. You're not eligible for a go. You should have been removed by it a long time ago. And if he actually takes punitive action with sanctions, oh my goodness, then they'll really lose their minds. You don't want that, South Africa. Tell your politicians to stop acting like fools. Trump isn't asking for anything. He isn't demanding anything. Stop lying about it, or he will ask and demand things. Just ask Colombia, Canada, Denmark, Panama, Mexico, China. They got the message, and so did the UK. Cheers, everybody. Have a good night and take care of yourselves. Be safe.
So what do y'all think about that? Again, I'm still on the South Africa thing because it's blowing up. I left the Sahel region. I moved down south to South Africa for my viewing pleasure and I guess y'all's as well, for those of you that are here. Any thoughts or perceptions? Was anyone in, I guess no one was. Oh, well. Anyone want to come up on panel? Anyone want to talk about anything? Let's see. I got to thank, that's what I got to do. I got to thank Mineko64 this afternoon and also the Market Sniper. Both of them, I asked Mario a question and he actually answered it to the best of his ability. And then the Market Sniper hopped in and thanked me for asking the question and spent about 5 to 10 minutes on that question. And they passed it off to Clyde. And so I got a real good explanation from 3 different guys for my question. So I wanted to thank Mario and Market Sniper and Clyde for taking so much time to answer my question and from their point of view. And I appreciated that. So after you see that about South Africa, what do you guys think is going to happen with the price of platinum? I had a video I was going to show. I think I did it as a separate video on my actual YouTube show. I think I did. Videos. Let's see here. Yeah, I did. It was the Johannesburg video. Was a world. And all you got was snow. See, you're living in the wrong spot, Tom. You need to move south. I did a little 10-minute video on Johannesburg. When I was a kid, it was a nice place in the 80s and 70s and even up to as much as the 90s. It was a pretty nice city. And, you think New York had gone downhill. Oh, my God, nothing like Johannesburg. That place has gone to like a 5th world country. They have gangs that take over high-rise, the whole high-rise building, a 15-story building. One gang will take it over. The cops don't even move them out. Wow. I've been telling people for a while, South Africa's number one industry is the private security industry that employs 3.5 million people, and that they are also the murder capital of the world. About 26 to 27,000 people get murdered there every year. I also told people that they only have electricity for half the day. I've also given personal GDP dropping from individual, not country, but it's obviously a foregone conclusion. If the person or the people of the country lose their GDP from 8,000 to around 6,300, that's a good 20, close to 25% decrease in their personal GDP. It gets reflected in country numbers a few years later. Of course, everyone's not going to realize that South Africa lost their GDP, but it'll come. Hey, right on. Ben got himself some platinum. I can't wait till they start mining platinum from JM's home country. That's when I want to start buying some platinum. It's some good old American platinum.
Pretty tough to do that in the winter, but I was just speaking with my buddy that lives up north near Thunder Bay, which is where Clean Air Metals is, which Neil's talking about. And he said I should move up there. He said all the mining companies are hiring.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
No, it's exploding. Yeah. They're not telling you guys about that on the news, but I've mentioned it. Mining is rocking and rolling in Canada right now. I had a buddy of mine, his son spent 10 years up there just doing core sample drilling just for that reason. Because they were mapping out the underground, the whole country of Canada. They were mapping out the underground every so many kilometers that drill a hole, every so many kilometers that drill a hole. They've got a geographical map of Canada. They know where pretty much every mineral is in that city, in that state, in that country. It's just a matter of now finding out which ones are most profitable veins. And, well, like your friend said, miners are moving in. And they're paying good money too, I imagine. He tell you how much they're paying?
No, he didn't. He said that right now it's mainly administrative that they're looking for.
That's what you want.
Yeah, and probably human resources for hiring the actual,
Oh yes, you're in the office with the heater.
That's right. So he's like, JM, get your ass up here. He said, I've got that basement apartment. My buddy just finished drywalling it for him. So he's got finished basement. But I got to tell you, it's tough to be away from family and friends for the long haul. So it's a tough thing for me to consider. But I got something special. I'm just setting up here for you, so I'm going to mute for a minute.
Right on. Well, it's all about personal choices and decisions. If you see one industry's fixing to start booming, know this: other industries are going to start booming as well. So if you stay put and stay in your industry, if it's a cohesive to the industries that are exploding now, meaning subsequent industries that will gain business from the explosion of the other industries exploding, you can stay put and be making money. It all depends. And actually, that's where opportunity comes in. You start seeing stuff like that. You start looking at, okay, well, now they're going to need more truckers. They're going to need more, this, that, and the other to go back and forth to supply the stuff. So that opens up opportunities where you're at to do things, to where you could open up your own business and take full fucking advantage. Oh my God, I'm timing you out, JM. Stop that. Quit. I'm starting to freeze. I got to turn my heater on. Holy shit, I'm freezing. Look, the camera froze. See, you froze the camera, JM. It was so cold out there, it froze. What is it, minus 500 degrees out there?
Nope, the camera didn't freeze. I can see traffic going by on the left side of that.
Come on, I almost had the people convinced, bro.
Oh yeah, man. Those snow piles that you see there were all shoveled by hand, and then we got paths built for the little dogs. Let's see if I can show you.
Man, forget that.
It may be tough to see because it's kind of dark. But yeah, we got dumped on for sure.
That's why you guys hardly have any nighttime up there. The snow is so reflective of all the stars.
Um,
Yeah, I know it's cloudy.
yeah, it's still cloudy. Nice. And since I don't have a dog in here, I can just leave that camera there.
Outside and shut the door.
Yeah. Actually, I should aim it more at the road there. We may see some snowplows going
Wildlife, maybe.
by. Snowplows going by. Actually, probably see some ambulances going by too.
Ooh, there's some wildlife. I think they're called humans. Eskimos. They're Eskimos.
Yeah.
I don't see how you stand that white stuff, man.
I'm looking forward to the spring now, and it is tough because it still gets pretty warm here in the summer. It'll get up to 100 degrees Fahrenheit from time to time. So no sooner do I start getting climatized to the warm summer weather, and then boom, transition to fall, winter. What is it right now?
See,
Right now it is about 15 degrees Fahrenheit outside.
my theory is you chase the sun or the warmth. You try and maintain about a 75-degree temperature year round, no matter how far south you have to move or how far north you have to move at whatever point in time.
Yeah, I like that idea too.
Yeah, that way you're always warm and you don't have to do nothing but throw on flip-flops and a bathing suit.
See, and that's one of the reasons I kind of like Costa Rica, but there's going to be spots in the States that are like that too, where, you know, in the winter when it cools down, you can just go down more to where the beaches are. And when it gets too hot, you can go up into the mountains.
Yeah, it does. I was about to say, doesn't Costa Rica have hella mountains?
Yeah, it's got
No.
both.
And being out here in California, I can tell you, they've got what's known as microclimates. They have mountains. So
Yeah.
you could actually find a location probably somewhere down there in that mountain range that has the perfect microclimate of not too hot, not too cold, not too humid, because microclimates are valley by valley. They're not all encompassing. And I've actually seen it on job sites where clouds will come up and they'll stop at a certain space and just circle all the way around this one location. And you'll see it in your work. You think it's going to be raining, and the clouds will just circle all around you because of the geography and the environment and the winds and the temperatures keep that space open from the low pressure that's bringing the rain. And it's a microclimate.
Yep. Yeah, it's really neat.
Yeah, it sucks though when you're hoping to get the day off from rain and it doesn't rain on the job. But other than that, it's neat.
Got to pursue retirement,
Doing that this year, bro.
financial freedom.
Early retirement. I'll be getting about, after they take all their early retirement, they take, well, I might get 60%. If I get 60%, it'll probably be like $800 or $900
Yeah.
after taxes and everything else.
I was a bit late getting here to see the whole video clip that you shared earlier, and I know you're looking for some responses to that and comments on it, so I find it a little difficult to comment on it, but I know it has to do with Africa.
Yeah, no, it has to do with how the government and the media down there are acting. They're actually attacking the administration in charge right now, when all they did was executive order to suspend aid for 3 months until we look at the agencies and see if there's any fraud going on.
Gotcha. Okay.
You know, so if someone's going to act like that and all you're doing is suspending aid to check for fraud, it kind of screams fraud.
That's right.
You know, I mean, I'm a weirdo, I know, and I see things weirdly. But hey, what's up, Southeast Woodland? But I mean, he hasn't. It's not. It's like free money for them. It's not. It's aid. It's supposed to be food. It's supposed to be going to things. It's not supposed to be going to politicians. So why are they so upset? and so actually more than upset, they're actually aggressively attacking him for. It's like, whoa, it's only for 90 days, bro. So yeah, we need to research. We need to take a closer look because there's some major problems going down there. If that's their first reaction within 3 days of the suspension of aid for 90 days. I mean, no other African country exploded like that, did they? We spend like, I mean, I did a video where it showed we spend several $billions yearly. I think Mozambique gets 500 million. South Africa gets close to $1 billion. And these are yearly for decades, yearly. We've been giving them this money, and then we suspend it for 3 months. I don't hear Mozambique wanting to throw Trump to the lions and cut off his wee and shove it up his booty butthole and all this other stuff that South Africa's trying to do. So yeah, I'm thinking they're as all my reports on South Africa have been saying, you want to know why Impala Mines is going down, the second largest platinum mine in the world? Well, it's from corruption, like I've been saying, and it's the South African government. And that's why for over a 15-year time period, they actually lost money on their gold mines. And that's how much theft's been going on. So, and that also affects GDP, except for on actual paperwork, you can still lie because people don't know really where the money's going. You just, you write down on paperwork a bunch of shit. And then as soon as your city starts falling apart, people realize, oh, they didn't spend the money there. They actually took it and got a fifth and sixth wife instead. Okay.
And Fin59 actually made a really good point too. Elon is from South Africa.
He's a South African citizen that immigrated to America. Yes, sir.
I wonder how deep that connection
it goes very deep. His mother's an Afrikaner.
Yeah, and so the connection there now.
Yeah, and that's why South Africa, I believe, I have no facts for this, but I believe the reason why they're screaming so bad is because of the evidence that we actually have against them with all of their crimes against humanity, basically, that they've been doing for the past year because of all the corruption and all the death that they've caused. And it's just a nasty place down there. What's up, Chad? Like I said, it's the murder capital of the world. They're number one security to protect people from being murdered. So basically, only the wealthy people have protection there because they're the only ones that can afford private security. Everyone else, it's a hit and miss. You got 26,000 deaths and murders a year. Roll the dice if you want to go outside. That's not a very productive society.
Hey, Chad, good to see you.
So for them to keep the highest GDP in Africa, I find to be speculative on a good day. In reality, I don't think that they're even close to being a GDP leader. I think that China and their fudging of numbers since they joined the One Belt Road Initiative is taking care of the paperwork, making it look different than it is. And I actually think that, quite honestly, I think BRICS you might start seeing some cracks in BRICS because they're not as financially stable as people think.
The one thing they do all have in common, though, is they're all wanting to squash U.S. dollar. That's what they have in common. Right?
Well, there's two things they have in common.
Okay.
Except for Ethiopia. Ethiopia and India. Every country that's joined their governments are authoritarian or dictatorships. So they're not the will of the people.
Gotcha.
And you got to look at that as well. Because then what you have is all the numbers that people go off of. Well, if it's the governments giving those numbers and those governments don't give the will of the people, why would they give you honest numbers?
That's right.
Cuba. Have you heard about Cuba? It's no longer, from my understanding, actually a country. Or excuse me, let me rephrase that. From my understanding, they don't have a government. Whether or not that means they're still a country, I'm not quite sure. I haven't looked into it. But last I heard, their government dissolved, which means it's I don't know what it is right now, actually. I don't even know if it's a country, but no one's talking about it. I think we should send some. People are talking about Guantanamo. You hear about that?
I haven't heard anything recently about Guantanamo, but lots in the past.
I think they can house up to 8,000 people now. Mm-hmm. They've renovated that place very, very nicely. to hold a bunch of people, and that's just one. And I heard, what was it that BTC country, Ecuador or El Salvador? Which one is it? They volunteered to take American prisoners too. So there's some real interesting things going to be happening here in the future, because I don't know how we can legally do that. Oh, is it 30,000, Tom? I knew it was in the thousands. I shot low. I thought it was 50,000, but I decided to say 8 because I wasn't sure.
Yeah, it's El Salvador.
El Salvador. Okay.
In 2021 or in 2021.
Yeah, I think El Salvador is the one that offered to take prisoners from America for all the illegals that were going to be jailing. They said they'd take them down there if the countries didn't want them back.
That's
And the ones that we don't want to send back to the countries because they're too violent, and we know their country's just going to release them again, we're sending those ones to Guantanamo. And if they can hold 30,000, that means there's at least 30,000 known psychopathic killers that are in this country undocumented.
Hi, Andy. Good to see you.
What's up, Indy? Yeah, girl, Indy. I love this one. She was fighting me for so long about this movie Caveman. I kept pushing it on her. I think it's one of the most best movies she's shown so far. If anyone hasn't seen Caveman, I would totally suggest it. There's no words. You don't have to worry about it. A bunch of grunting like cavemen. But it's a kick booty movie. And JM, if you're interested, you should watch it, because it's about music bringing the world together, even though it's in the setting of a caveman.
You know, I did put that on my list of things to watch.
Dude, don't watch it by yourself. It's more fun when everyone's laughing their ass off.
Is it?
Oh my God, it's a great movie, dude. If you see it by yourself, it's not going to be as fun, because no one else is. You're going to look over, see who else is laughing with you. It's that funny.
Dang.
And it's like India told me, it's really stupid funny.
Well, I know that for sure it was you that had first mentioned it to me. Otherwise, it wouldn't be on my radar at all.
Oh my God!
I gotta make,
especially with
somehow.
what India's doing with bringing people together through music. That Caveman should be your theme movie.
Yeah, and I just posted a link for Indy's channel for anyone
Yes,
that's not
please do.
subscribed.
I wish I'd have made it there this morning, but
Please do. She's got a great community that she's building of patriots and people around the world, and in the independent music community. And it's
Yep.
a great vibe there.
except for when she mutes me.
She mutes Neil from time to time, but in the end, Neil usually wins. Is that right? Did I get that right? So I hear anyway.
Well, in my mind, I always win. You know that it's a perspective.
Well, I think it's tough too, especially when you've got a panel of 6, 7, 8 people, and they're skimming over topics quick, and the topics change, and you want to weigh in on it. Like, how do you do that without, interrupting? I find that tough too.
Oh, I'm taking it's like a college class on patience.
Yep.
Learning not to say things. I'm actually taking it as a class. That's how I'm looking at it.
There is a famous saying, something to the effect of saying less is more impactful. They abbreviated it to less is more.
Everything has its time and place. Right now, I'm using it as a teaching implement for myself.
Mm-hmm.
Because I believe I said this before, I do lots of scientific experiments on myself, psychological, whatever you want to call them. I do it just to see the results. So I do weird shit. I'm a weirdo.
Oh, there goes a bus.
There you go.
Some public
Bunch of
transit.
crazies out in the cold.
It's on skis though. It's like a snowmobile bus. I'm just kidding.
Yeah, that would be more unstable than tires almost, especially when it comes to stopping.
It's true.
A Haiti-bound bus. That's what I was thinking, Tom.
That's funny. That's really funny.
And actually, right about now, 90% of your population's in the southern United States anyhow, aren't they?
Well, southern Kansas, yeah, they're within.
No,
It's
no, no. I'm talking
more than 80% of our population is within 200 miles of the American border.
when I was living in Florida every wintertime, we'd get what was called snowbirds. And that was
Yeah.
Canadians coming down thinking that our winter was summertime.
Yeah.
And we call them snowbirds. They'd fill up the hotels on the beach and everything. We'd be like, who the fuck is on the beach in the wintertime? Bunch of fucking Canadians. Oh, okay, cool.
I was
It's
one of them.
cold. No, it's not. It's warm to them.
Yep. Sanibel Island was where I went, Florida, on the Gulf side.
Yeah. I see. A lot of
Beautiful,
Canadians.
beautiful retirement area. Although now I'm a little concerned about it because it keeps getting hit by these
Keeps-
hurricanes.
Yeah. That's why I'm looking at developing my own solar and wind powered catamaran. Because that's a house you can move.
Yeah,
You know,
navigate around it.
I think it can actually go probably faster than the alligator can swim, even. So you don't have to worry about that either.
Thanks, Indy.
Yeah, anyone's welcome to post any scandalous websites that you want.
Okay, so Tom's been to Sanibel too. That was beautiful. Really liked it.
I knew this
Got
guy was. Go ahead.
I was gonna say you got to have some money though. You got to be prepared. It's not like going to Mexico or something like that for a vacation. Let's put it that way.
Island down on the Gulf Coast, right where it goes from the coastline goes from Port St. Lucie or Port St. Lucis or something like that. A lot of poor people used to live there back in the 80s. I had a friend that came from there. He actually moved to Pensacola and thought it was a big town.
Yeah.
I thought it was funny. But
I'd
now it's
love to go to Hawaii sometime too, but it seems to be a target.
dude, you want to go to Hawaii, you better have yourself about $20,000 if you want to stay there a month. Because the rent for a place, $8,000 for 1 month. And I wouldn't do hotel.
You know Steve Harloha.
Yeah, he lives there. Oh yeah, rent out his shed. Hey man,
Yeah.
give me a shed to sleep in. He's on Oahu though. He's not on the main island.
There you go. Yeah, and I'm okay with a tiny house too. Like I've definitely considered that. You know, you get one of those, say 500 square foot.
Well-
that's enough for one or two people.
If you're talking about there's like a little vacation in Hawaii, there are actually people who live in Hawaii. At least I was there for like 6 weeks, and I actually lived at the hall. There are actually two buildings down from the hall, and I'd walk around all the time after work and on the weekends and talk to people and stuff, smoke pot. And a lot of people would buy vehicles like trucks, and they wouldn't have an apartment or a house or anything, and they would have a job, but they would be living in their vehicle.
Yep.
And I found a couple different places in that little town that I was staying at where they would gather before they all go to bed. And there'd be lots of cars, mostly trucks actually, would gather up together and they'd like socialize around, eat their dinner or whatever. And then they'd go to their different areas to park because they lived out of their cars and that was their lifestyle. I found that kind of interesting.
It is. Do you mind if I address SE Wolverine's question?
Yes, do it.
He says, how do you feel about what Trump is saying about Canada? And I mentioned this earlier over at Rocky Superstars live stream. I think that Trump is super, super smart. He's way ahead. And I just watched a really cool video. And it says, thank you, Trump. You're helping to make Canada great again. Because before Trump has been saying all this stuff, Trudeau has somehow allowed, it's something like 11,000 meth labs here.
Mm-hmm.
No minimal border security. And we didn't have interprovincial free trade. So there's tariffs going between provinces in Canada. And just by Trump saying that, all the Canadian politicians are rallying and scrambling to fix these things that they should have fixed decades ago. So, like, again, I'm not. I don't worship anybody. I don't worship Trump, but I do think he's super super smart. I realize he's loyal to USA, so I'm little leery that way because I can see he's not going to let Canada get away with BS. And all these people, this was Montreal in that hockey game where they were booing the American anthem, is nasty, nasty. So, but I think part of it is a result of the things that Trump has been saying, and people take it personally or they don't understand what's really going on.
I think more of it.
Sorry, just one more thing, Neil. Got to keep in mind that was in Montreal, which is in Quebec, province of Canada, and they've always wanted to separate from Canada. So that, like, for Trump to say they'll be the most sensitive to it. So for Trump to say Canada is going to become the 51st state, all these people in Quebec that have wanted to separate from Canada to begin with are going to go, oh no, because they want their own distinct society. So like they would be the ones to be most sensitive to that.
Anyway, from what I heard, Alberta was very likely to want to become American. Aren't they the energy section or province? Yeah.
Yep.
I was pretty sure they want to. They're very receptive to the idea.
And Saskatchewan as well, which is directly east.
Yeah.
Of Alberta, and so I think he'd be less likely to get that sort of booing happening. In Montreal, I could see half of the people would have booed and half wouldn't. And it would be the ones that want to separate from Canada to begin with that would have been the ones booing, generally speaking. Yeah, thanks, Indy. I did a quick live stream about that too. Although I got a worldwide copyright claim.
Yeah, I was going to ask you about that.
Singing the national anthem.
Yep.
Worldwide.
I tried watching your shit afterwards.
It wasn't a strike, but they blocked it, so nobody could.
I couldn't bring up the video.
But that's okay. Anyone that was there got the effect, and I put those details in the description of the video, so people will get. I think they'll still get the effect. But there is a mixed sort of reaction to it here. I am hearing people here in Canada saying they're going to start boycotting buying American goods, which I think is ridiculous. But like you can vote with your dollar. That's fine. And to be honest, I think that's probably a more effective way than booing. Like
that's the freest way to do it, actually.
Yeah.
The only problem is when you find out that you get most of your shit from the country you're doing it to, it's kind of counterproductive to the way you live your life. Yeah. And that's what they're going to find out. Because just like I did a video, and this goes back to South Africa, and hey, what's up, Southeast? People talking about their GDP of South Africa and them saying South Africa this, that, the other. We don't need South Africa's minerals. We don't need nothing from South Africa. I think what was it, copper or something like that. They $31 million we buy from them. We don't buy any platinum from them. We get it on the secondary market. We don't buy any gold from. We don't get nothing from South Africa. They're actually insignificant to America and everything that our agenda has. The only thing they take from us is about $1 billion a year of aid. So, it goes back to about 2 years ago when I first said the new charts are going to be treaties and trade agreements. And I stay to that. And that's what's happening in the world right now.
They will be the new what?
Charts.
Charts.
Yeah. Everyone looks to charts for a general direction of which way something's going.
Okay, indicators.
Indicators, yeah.
It's a financial. When they say they've got tools in their toolbox, the tariffs are one. Interest rates is another.
And trade agreements and treaties also fit into that. And right now, and if you look at some of my older videos, 86 countries on this planet of 187 countries kicked out their government and now put in right-wing governments. So that's over 1/3 of the world just changed governments. So there's going to be new treaties and trade agreements on a massive level that will change charts.
And so that actually proves that Trump's a step ahead of everybody else,
Yes.
because he didn't bother trying to dip his toe into the pool. He just dove right in and said, "Here we go."
Well, yeah, basically, he didn't even actually dive right in. This is the ending of chapter 2 after World War II. And the ending of chapter 2 is the one-way country rebuilding strategy that only America in the history of the world has ever tried. And that is to rebuild countries that we conquer, not occupy them and take their resources. So we allowed them for the first time ever in history. So there's no historical charts to go by off this. It's an experiment still that we're going through. That's why America's not going anywhere. We're still an experiment. And they're getting the numbers on how it looks when a country rebuilds the conquered countries rather than occupying them. And there's no other place in history you can go to for a chart or for speculation and what to look for further back than World War II, because America's the first one to ever do that. And in doing that, we allowed them to tax and tariff us so they could rebuild their economies. It was part of the new idea of country rebuilding rather than occupying.
Yeah, that's a really good
part of history that people forget when you say taxes and tariffs aren't different this time. They are 180% different than any other time before 1945. And we haven't had any taxes or tariffs before since 1945 because of the deals made to rebuild those countries and allow all of them, China, most of Europe, France, all to tax us and not tax and tariff them. So, okay, so 80 years down the line, everyone here, we've been born since then. So we're used to, as I like to refer to, we're used to the chains around our neck of economic slavery. And all that's happening is the chains are being broke free, and the slaves are crying about it, saying it's unfair. And that's my perspective, because I understand the whole perspective of it. We were born. I was born in 1968, when in 1968, every country out there was taxing and tariffing us. My first breath of air was a breath of economic slavery here in America, but yet we were still semi-prosperous, even though. So if we were semi-prosperous while we had all these chains around our necks, they're fixing to fall because freedom is coming. The age of prosperity, the golden age is coming. And it was stated 80 years ago when they did this. It wasn't going to be permanent. Everyone should have, the leaders, world leaders should have told their people about this. I found out because I'm an investigative kind of person. So I put it all together. The information's out there for everyone to figure out. All you got to do is research. Find out why is it different? What is a VAT tax? Have you ever been flying and asked, is it duty free? What is duties? Oh, tax. Oh, okay. They just use the word duty. And if it's duty free, that means it's tax free. So it's tax free for them to bring shit into us, but we have to pay duty tax.
Shit, literally. They should call it doo-doo instead of duty.
It's doo-doo tax. Exactly. We're going to doo-doo on you. And that's been going on my whole life. I've traveled around halfway around the world 6 times. It's happened. I know what I'm talking about. I mean, I'm sure other people have traveled more than me, but I paid attention to this crap. I paid attention to the money exchangers at the international airports when we had to change the American dollar to the local currency to be able to buy something at the airport. I remember those days. Of course, you'd have to be traveling international back in the 70s to remember those days. But hey, as a kid, that's what we were doing, So I remember, because I wanted ice cream after every airplane. And I was a rambunctious, troublesome child, so I always got ice cream. So we always had to go to the money exchanger at every international airport. All because I was an asshole kid. And I learned this. So apparently being an asshole kid taught me financing in the 70s. And now I look at it now and I'm like, oh, yeah, I see what's going on.
So you would have fit right in with the Little Rascals?
Oh, no, I would have torn them up, man.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, they were too easy.
More like the Tasmanian Devil?
Dude, I got kicked out of every American school in Italy in 2nd grade.
Wowza.
Do you think the Little Rascals could stand a chance?
I guess not. There could be some cut, cuts. It's all that's all scripted anyway. But
I was so maniacal in 2nd grade. I waited till second to the last day of end of school so I could graduate into 3rd grade before I put my 2nd grade teacher in the hospital for fucking with me all year. And I told everyone, it was all documented, 100% documented. They were so shocked that they just asked me to leave. No crime, no nothing, because they realized how fucked up because I had evidence in second grade that I had given them the whole school year of this teacher abusing me psychologically, and they did nothing about it. So all they did was ask me to leave. Isn't that a cool thing to do to a second grader? If you want to know why I'm so weird, that's one of the starts of it.
It was probably a smart way for them to deal with it.
Oh, yeah, it was for them.
Yep.
For them, not for a second grader, though. and you know, if you're going to protect children, what the fuck? I was a second grader. God damn it. They should have put me in advanced fucking education right then.
I got in trouble at school until about grade 2 or 3. Not much.
I broke my first nose of a kid in preschool because he was messing with the Yvette Parody, and I had the hots for her. I was like 4 or 5. I walked up to him, punched him straight in the nose. I was a weird kid.
Well, you turned out all right, you know.
Yeah. Thank God. Man, I should. If I wasn't going to turn out all right, I probably would have never left 91 War. I'd probably been killed there.
It's good you got that high energy.
Boy, and it hasn't left after almost in 2 months. It'll be 57 years, and I have the same freaking high energy, dude.
And you put it to good, right? So,
you know, life is an evolution of learning and growing. To be good, you have to have experienced bad, one side or the other, and made choices. So I'm not saying I was always a good guy, but I never got caught, and I learned, and I became a good guy.
Hey, Vegas.
What's up, Vegas? Well, educational stackers down there. Educational uneducated economist is down there with All Night Hider. They're in Vegas this weekend.
That's another place I've never been to, but would like to. I would like to go to Vegas.
Learn the principles of the math and the laws behind slot machines before you go. It'll help out a lot.
I already studied it, actually. I was considering studying to be a slot machine tech.
Oh, okay. Then you know
people that they got to program them first, and then they're on site in case there's any issues.
Yeah, so max bet, keep going until you get your money back. You're going to get 97% of your money back. Yeah, okay, so you already know it. That's why you look for the grannies that don't win and they throw a lot of money in. Walk away and start max betting on them some bitches. You'll be a winner.
Yeah, like people think that, oh, okay, because I didn't get a hit in the last 100 spins, it's common. But
it's a dollar amount.
Your odds each time you hit that button are exactly the same as the last time you hit it. And it's just in the long run, over trillions of hits, it'll work out to. Usually, it's around. They say it's around 95%.
There's a new law that no one knows about. They have to on slot machines specifically, when they did an expansion of slot machines throughout the whole state. I believe it's when they changed this law. They have to, after a certain number of pulls or times or chances or something, it has to guarantee like a 95% or 97% payback. So you just have to stick, but it's a certain mathematical way you got to do it, and it's based off of a dollar amount, and that's what changes. And that's it. That's why I said I get the specifics, because they changed that law, because I seen a guy do that, and it I don't know if it worked. He won. I can tell you, he won, and I've never seen anyone walk up the machines and within a half hour be a mega ding 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 ding.
Yep.
And he did it to most everyone he went to. Not most everyone, more than a significant amount, but not enough to have the casinos banning.
Yeah. Well, and since we're on that topic, I just want to throw a quick disclaimer in there, because like there are people that have gambling issues, and that is for anyone, that, and I buy a little bit of lottery. I go to the casino a couple times a year, but never, ever, ever take more to the casino than what you can afford to just give away to someone on the street.
Exactly.
Never, right? People start taking their rent there, or their mortgage payment there, and stuff like that.
Those
There's
are the things when you see on the
there's
side
about
of
a
the road.
one, yeah, there's like a 1 in 10,000 chance that it'll actually pay off for you. So
Take
you know,
advantage of all the amenities.
yeah,
Enjoy all the free shows, and
it's
then blow
forever.
the $100 on some stupid shit.
Yeah, there's a lot to do in Vegas other than just gambling. Like I'd like to go to that. There's a
My
track there.
God, dude, you
There's
should. I'm not pushing this show, but I'm going to push this show. The Uneducated Economist, All Night Hider, was with him today in Vegas, and they did a walk around. And there's like 300-yard long TV that's curved, that's above your head, and people like are on a sky rail that like go flying over your head. And they were videoing this the whole thing, man, just showing what 3 blocks of Vegas, how much time you can waste not spending any money. And they had like I think 3 different concerts going on in 3 different sections of that 300-yard long walk, all free.
Hey Neil, is it Uneducated Economist or the
Yeah.
Uneducated?
Oh wow. Okay, now you're asking specifics, bro. Hold on a second. Let me get back here. Give me just a second.
Okay, so Indy's got one that is uneducated.
Yes, it's Uneducated.
Okay, good.
Yeah,
I was just about to drop it, but I got to tell you, Indy's fast.
Man, I know, man. She mutes me before I can unmute myself.
Thank you. I was going to say that there's a track there where you can rent exotic cars like Lamborghini, McLaren, Ferrari, all these, dream cars. And I think you rent them by the lap. So you can take them like for 3 laps or 10 laps or 15 laps. That's one thing I would definitely like to do. I'll say when I go to Vegas.
Enjoy everything they have to offer is all I gotta say. There's so much free good entertainment there.
Yeah.
And there's actually good stuff to do on the outskirts of the city too. Hiking trails, 4-wheeling, renting a BMX bike type stuff. A lot of cool stuff to do other than gambling in Vegas.
Yeah.
Everyone associates it with gambling, but there's so much to do that you'd spend more time and waste less money on and have a better time because at least you knew you were going to waste the money when you had a good time. Where gambling, you're not sure you're going to have a good time, but you're damn sure you're going to lose your money.
Most likely.
Yeah, everyone's got grandiose thoughts until you come back broke.
Well, and I've seen, and I know a lot of people that have, hit jackpots at the casino, anywhere from $5,000, to $100,000. And I know people win more, but what happens frequently is that encourages them, and it actually deepens the potential addiction.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And in the long run, if you follow them in the long run, they end up losing. Yeah.
Yep. It's a trap. It's an addiction, and the winning is an incentive for the addiction. But if you know that ahead of time, you go, you gotta just don't get trapped in it. Like this disclaimer: I don't gamble. I don't encourage anyone else to gamble. If you're going to Vegas, there's a lot more things you can do. Have a lot more fun that are free and healthy, and will be more memorable than going in a casino. They have psychologically timed out lighting system, sounds, and smells to make you want to give them your money and walk out broke. That just, if you think about it, which one sounds more fun?
Yeah. Hey Tom, I never saw the dogs run in Bonita Spring. I didn't see that, but in the future I would definitely like to. And I'd also like to drive Fin 59's Ferrari. I could drive it nice too.
Oh, dude, you got to watch out for some. I don't know if Ben's Ferrari's like this, but the Ferrari I was asked to pick up from the shop, it was Sam Viviano's. He's a lawyer for Levin Middlebrooks and McGill in Pensacola. I went to go pick that thing up, and the seat is made for the owner. If you're the original purchaser of it, they actually form fit the seat to your person, to where anyone else that sits in that seat, unless they're a similar size and shape as you, it's going to be an uncomfortable seat. That's what I've found. I've only been in one though.
Custom upholstery.
Yeah, so if it's secondary, I'm sure they might have changed out the seat or something. But if it's original from the factory, the seat is manufactured for the person who bought it.
And you know, the number one thing that attracted me to a Ferrari in the beginning, can you guess?
Girls like it.
Magnum PI.
Oh yeah, yeah.
That was, I used to watch Magnum PI all the time, and I was like, oh man, I want to do that burnout that he does on the grass there. Yeah. Yeah, Paris is expensive.
Yeah, I never cared for this. I actually, the one car I did, and the only thing I really liked about it was its doors, was the DeLorean, and that's because I like the way the doors open up. Because I've always had problems with people
There
right
you go.
beside me. And you open up the door and it hits their car with the wind blowing or something. But if the car doors go straight up, you never have that issue. You can park tighter. So
Yeah.
I always like the idea of the way the DeLorean car door opens. So I like that, and also the suicide door of the older vehicles. I actually like the older sports vehicles, the 40s and probably 30s and 40s models that had suicide doors on them. Those were not everyone did, but there was a few models that had suicide doors. Those were nice cars.
Yeah. For sure. And you know, as someone that's, you know, not particularly wealthy, one of the other cars that I almost got was the Fiero GT.
Fieros are nice.
But you don't want to get the 4-cylinder because they're junk. The GT, I think mechanically was a little more sound, but it's neat how it's set up. It's completely unique.
You'd need to
But
take
they
a
just look
Scion-
cool.
If you take a 2011 Scion XB engine and you stick it in a what used to be a 4-cylinder Fiero,
Yeah.
you'd have a kick-ass fucking drifter.
Yeah. Be careful. I heard the 4-cylinder Fieros had really, really bad brakes. The braking was bad, and the suspension wasn't. I'd take a GT and soup that up if you're going to soup something up. Tom worked at a Fiero plant.
Yeah, I just saw that.
I wish Tom would come up on the panel. That would be a great story to tell
Hell
us.
yeah. It's pinned
I
at the
mean, they
top.
were-
Anyone can come up who wants to come up.
Yeah, it's like the poor man's Ferrari, right?
Except for Independent Manny. I won't let her come up because, well, that might talk her into coming up.
Oh, and greetings to anyone I missed. I think I said hi to everybody, but sometimes we miss people. Nice. So Tom will be good with a tow motor forklift.
Mike, I didn't see you slip in here, brother.
Hey, Mike. Yeah, I think I did not say hi to Mike. So
Yeah, you
anything new on the Osmium front?
No, it's I think they've got more than enough advertisement going for the limited market cap of the product.
Yep.
I believe that's. I think more than enough people needed to get the information, and they're overloaded already because it is a small market cap, and that's what I believe. And they've already got a couple of retailers online, which are going to suck up. I believe that time order if you can. You know, it's one of those things. The reason why I say buy silver, buy platinum, and buy crystallized osmium is not because I'm stupid, not because it sounds pretty when you say it together. I don't know if it does, or it was just saying, but it's
Have a
because
good
all
night,
three
dude.
of. All right, let your kids watch Cavemen if you think it's appropriate. They will be laughing their butts off, girl. Have a good night. But what were we talking about? Kids were like squirrel to my brain. I totally lost focus.
We're talking about the cars.
Oh well, it doesn't matter. We'll go to the next subject. I'll get in and talk about that too. I can talk about pretty much a lot of things.
We're talking about Osmium. And,
Oh yeah, the smallness of the
Supply
market.
versus demand. Demand
Yeah,
is exceeding supply. Is that right?
okay. I have no the disclaimer. I have no insight. I'm not associated with the Osmium Institute, and I don't know their production or orders or sales.
Fair
Uh,
enough.
okay, so I don't know any of that number. What I can suggest, from what I do know, is that they're probably, because again, it's small market cap, smaller market caps, quicker to squeeze. I think they're overloaded with orders, backlogged, and I think they pretty much said, quit with the advertisement. We're already overloaded.
Yeah.
That's my personal feelings on it, but I'm not
Yeah.
100% sure.
Yeah. Or
But it
even
is a
like,
small market cap, so I was anticipating something like that happening. That's why I say it.
and most manufacturing companies, when they're growing like that, if they start
You-
coming up to like 80% capacity, they will start backing off until they can
Yeah,
build capacity,
growth
right?
can kill a company.
Okay.
Growing pains for a company are real, and they can actually go bankrupt because they grow too quick.
Happens all the time.
Yep.
Or they'll just get bought out by, the bigger bucks.
One more, yeah. So that's my personal feeling on Osmium. I still have my little saying I say. I don't say it as much because I believe that's what's happening. I believe they're already they're with the speed they can produce. Their production to sales is out of whack, and they've got too many sales for their amount of production.
Yeah.
What's up, Pete? Repeat. Which is good for anyone who has it or can get their hands on it, because all three of those metals, crystallized osmium, platinum, and silver, are all undervalued right now. And if you can get your hands on them, you will be very happy within 24 months. In my personal opinion, this is not financial advice.
Well, and like personally, I'm happy as soon as I get a little bit more.
The more the merrier, man. The more
Yeah.
the merrier. Especially if, say, they tokenize it or do something digital with it. And since it's already the most digital metal out there because of the points of recognition that it has in the individual piece, it would be perfect for digitization into a digital marketplace. And if that happens, its value will exponentially jump. And it's kind of sort of ways to be digitized just because of the way they've got this, the way it is. It's like perfect fit.
Yeah, it makes me think that I don't actually want to turn it into jewelry. Just leave it exactly as is. Just hang on to it.
I'm with my letters and numbers and stuff. I'm not gonna probably not didn't do anything like with, but my 2mm squares I'll be using for jewelry, just because I want to see the finished product of what I see in my mind, and see if it's as gorgeous as what I believe it'll be.
Yeah. Plus, that can help you raise a little bit of cash. Then you can get some more.
Oh yeah. Of course, yeah. No, that's always an incentive as well. And of course, I always say start your own company, work yourself. So, even if I can only sell like 6 pieces of jewelry a year, if I make 2,000 a piece, that covers rent for the year. So now I don't have to worry about anything as far as rent. It's just a supplemental income that comes in, help you out. That'd be great. What's up, Tom?
Hey, Tom.
I want to see how this works.
Right on.
Well, what you can do is you can go down to, I believe it is settings,
Does it
and it
work?
gives you options. If you go to virtual background, it'll throw up stuff like what
Yeah,
JM and I have up, or like what I have up. JM's got live camera.
Yep. Or you can hit down at the bottom. It can say stop cam. And then if you hit stop cam, it'll just shut it off like that. But I heard you for a minute, Tom. Yeah, there you go.
Now you can be up here and still talk to us.
Now
I
you
don't. Yep, go ahead.
yes, so you can hear me. Am I
A
getting
little bit low.
hello?
I hear you. Your microphone level seems a bit low. So if you can get a little closer to the microphone.
Or turn your mic setting up.
I think this is his first time up on panel, though, Neil.
Yeah, I'm seeing what I know. I can try. I
Turn it
believe
up.
there's something.
It
Is
is
there
my
anything-
first time up.
Is there anything I can do on my end to turn up the volume for him on
Yep.
my end?
Yep. On his little icon at the bottom, there's 3 dots,
Yeah.
and in there it should say audio settings and whatnot.
Oh, all I have is remove from stage, solo, mute, and edit mic settings. Okay, there we go.
Yep. And then just
Okay.
crank his volume up. So just be aware, Tom, if you go to someone else's panel, once he turns your volume up, when you go to their panel, it'll be turned right up. It might actually help you anyway. So I'm going to
think I
mute you.
just-
I'm going
I'm
to mute
hearing
you.
everything double.
I almost doubled your mic volume from my end.
Oh, are you hearing an echo, Tom?
Yes, I get everything double.
Okay, so you need to go back to the original YouTube tab and just hit pause on it.
Or mute.
You're hearing it double because of that. Or even just close the tab with the original YouTube. Yeah, or mute it. Then you should be good. So I'm going to mute up to let you guys figure this out.
Well,
Dang. Lost him.
I'm going to blame you, Jim. Because I was taking a hit. I didn't do anything. I think he's just messing around with settings. You know how it goes when you're new to this. I did the same thing. Hit the wrong button. Oh, well. You're
Yeah.
learning about it. I'm glad he came up, and I hope he returns. I hope he figured out. Yeah, what I have is I have my YouTube show. I have it on one tab, and I just have it muted. And then I'm actually right now talking on the stream.
All right, it says I'm backstage. You're in the show. Everyone can hear you.
Yep, we can hear you, brother.
Yeah, I hear you much better now.
Yeah. Can you hear us?
Yeah, but I'm not in real time.
Are you on the YouTube show or the StreamYard show? Because the YouTube show is about 5 seconds delayed from the StreamYard.
StreamYard.
Okay, you should be a live time. I don't know what's going on there.
So what happens, Tom, is when you click the StreamYard link, it opens a new tab, and your original YouTube will still be playing, and that's why you get the echo. But you want to go back to the YouTube tab, pause it or mute it,
Keep going. He can still hear you.
and then go back to StreamYard, and then you should be in real time. It's a
Yeah.
pain until you figure it out, but once you get it figured out, you'll be like, oh yeah, okay, that makes sense.
That's what we're here for. We're help. We're kind, helpful, and grateful. Try to be anyhow. Sometimes I just don't have the information to help.
Welcome
Figuring it
back.
out, my brother.
Welcome back.
I think I'm still going to be delayed, though. I can't.
Are you on a PC or on your phone?
I'm not sure how to go back and pause. I'm on my laptop, PC.
So right at the top, you'll have your different tabs open. Go back to the one that says Sunday and just pause it or mute it. And then come back to the StreamYard tab. Yeah, we hear, Essie says we hear you fine, and we do. But the thing is, Tom's getting an echo on his end, so we're just trying to help him clear that up. And then
All right, how's that?
you sound good to me.
Yep.
It came right through?
Yep.
Okay, I went back and muted it.
Perfect.
There you go.
Yep.
All right, well, great.
So what's on your mind, brother?
Nothing. I just wanted to pop up. You brought up the cars, and I that was a dream job for a kid in his 20s. I'll tell you. I don't know. It was a long time doing that. Roger Penske was our boss back then. He bought our company, and After 18 years, he finally lost a bid with GM, so we lost a terminal. And then I wasn't loading trains anymore. I went to driving trucks. But
Okay.
it was just a whole lot of fun driving all those cars. I could talk for hours about it.
I was about to say that.
All of us old timers now, we talk about it because all those cars were, they're all gone now, or they're collectors. We just
pretty much.
played every day, and they paid us to do it.
Yeah, and probably
that's
paid you well.
Yeah, it was a Teamster job.
Got paid real good, and you got a good retirement being a Teamster.
I didn't get Teamster retirement. The railroaders don't have a truck. They don't have the same contract as the truck drivers.
Oh, that's
We had 401ks. We had Teamster insurance and all the benefits, but we didn't get the retirement.
That's the only reason that kept me in the Iron Workers Union is that retirement. I looked at it, I was like, it's a shitty retirement, but it's better than, working for some company that doesn't give you anything.
I got a retirement. It just wasn't the same as what the truck drivers got.
Yeah.
But for me, I had a great income. I got to raise my kids, good insurance, and all that crap. So
Right on.
that was nice.
Did you take advantage of like discounts just buying factory direct?
No, we couldn't. We couldn't get factory direct. If you had a relative that worked GM, you could get the GM discount. But my brother-in-law sold Fords, so I could get Fords just over dealer cost. I always bought Fords. I never bought a GM when I worked for him.
Isn't that something?
I could get a better deal driving brand new Fords.
Dang.
Rules and regulations impact the company's economy.
I wasn't obligated to buy a GM.
Well, if they gave you, a discount because you worked,
No, I could get my dad worked for GM, so I could get it. I could get that discount, but I could still get nicer trucks because I was a truck guy after a while.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So I could get a brand new F-150 a lot cheaper than I could get a new Chevy.
I always like the Rangers.
They're too small.
I always like the smaller, like the Ranger 6-cylinder. Just
Yeah, they're
Good
big.
little beater. They were good beaters. Like they were
Good
built
trucks,
really well.
no doubt about it.
yeah, because I'm not big into hauling or doing work, but I do like every now and then if there's something in the back. But I don't want to get a full size that you always have the room to throw stuff. It's give and take on vehicles. I always like the smaller truck.
Yeah, I was a hunter and a fisherman, so I just always
You need
had
the
truck.
big back truck. Yeah, you need the big tailgate and big truck for that. Throw the game in there.
Probably diesel even.
No, I mean
4-wheel drive though for sure.
4-wheel drive, no diesels. I never liked diesel when I was younger.
You probably had lockers too on the outside, huh?
Yeah, the older trucks I did.
Yeah. The original 4-wheel drives. We used to have that.
They suck though. If you get stuck, your front end's underneath the mud.
Yeah.
Then you want to lock them in. So
It's I was about to say what's up, John Camper? In
Hey, John.
Northwest Florida, we used to go out to swamp was everywhere around us, so we just hit pretty much certain areas of swamps and do like mudding or swamp trailing, and like you just said, it'd sink, so you better have it in 4-wheel drive before you even start, or else you're screwed.
After I stopped loading trains, though, I hopped right into a diesel semis. I was driving semis for years after I finished with the cars. I love the big trucks.
That's a decent job too.
Yeah, I made good money driving truck.
Before
Well,
they
Huh?
before they my great uncle, my father's uncle, I called him Uncle Honey. He when he died, he had I think either 6 or 8 tractor trucks with the trailers. He was like an independent businessman. He was in Lancaster, Pennsylvania area. He'd do trucking out there. When something happened after he died, because I kept up with trucking for a little bit, something happened in the rules and regulations or something to where the truckers started making a hell of a lot less money. by something they did that changed something up, and I don't know what it
Cut
was.
their hours on the road.
So something happened where it was that during that whole problem during that time period where they're saying you have to stop mandatory and you have like a law.
You couldn't work over 11 hours a day.
Okay, yeah, so that's what
that
happened.
was total. That wasn't just driving.
Yeah, that sucks, man. Yeah,
I mean, if you drive 11 hours, you can do 600 or 700 miles in a day. But if it counts all your downtime and all that, you're not making that many miles.
And you're not making that much money. Okay, I see what happened to it. Because it was.
I drove for a broker. Go ahead.
It happened around that time. They were talking about that the danger of them driving for too many hours in a row or something, and needing 8 hours rest before they can do. I don't recall the exact argument that was used. I know there's big issues, and afterwards, truckers didn't make as much money.
Sleep is totally overrated. No, I'd hauled lumber for almost 8 years. Bulk lumber. I used to haul big bulk lumber, house roughs and stuff like that. And then I went out over the road hauling heavy, and I loved it.
You know, one of the things with that, I wonder, like, did you ever have a dash cam?
No, never.
I wonder because, like, I know right now, most of the truckers do, and that's because of all these people doing the brake testing.
Yep.
And trying to like defraud insurance. And I wonder if that was a prevalent thing back then with a lot of people not respecting the trucks.
Well, there's lots of people that don't respect the trucks. I mean, I never ever had an accident on the road. My private life, business life, nowhere. So I was lucky. But yeah, it's always the trucker's fault, according to everybody.
Yeah, they don't understand momentum.
Momentum and 80,000 pounds. So.
Yeah, momentum and weight, and you got yourself about 100 yards stopping instead of fucking 100 foot.
Well, you got your truck weighs 30,000, but you got 40-some thousand behind you. That's going to push you as soon as you hit the brakes.
Yep.
And on a wet road, it'll push you really fast. Once your tires break free, you're sliding. So, but driving truck, it's fun. If you ever get to driving.
I see those runaway paths on the side of the freeways out here in the mountains.
I never had to use anything like that.
That's where you go downhill for too long and your brakes give out.
Yeah, when you're in the mountains, especially with the snow, like those things are necessary.
Uh-huh.
I had a trailer get loose on the ice one time, and there was just nothing in front of me, but I was back and forth until I hit the bottom of the hill, and it just kind of pulled out of it. There was nothing, but it'll scare the hell out of you.
Oh, shit, yeah.
It'll make your butt cheeks pucker.
That's when you're hoping you're sitting on a bucket of coal, maybe you get a diamond out there.
Hey, Blue Butterfly, welcome.
What's up, Jeffro?
And Jeff is here too.
So I wondered why you were so interested in South Africa and you broke it up. I didn't know you lived down there. I know you lived in different places. Neil.
No, I didn't. I never lived. I never lived on the continent of Africa.
Oh, I thought you said you did, or South Africa.
No. I have an affinity for it for some reason. Keeping an eye on it because I know that everyone's been talking about it, and everything that I've heard from all these other larger YouTube channels, I've pretty much know they're either lying or the charts haven't caught up with reality, and I'm still trying to figure that out. And I'm thinking what it is actually a third option. I believe the country of South Africa has fudged their numbers, making everyone who just looks at the numbers think they're doing okay, but in reality, all they're doing is basically pulling a Biden by, like with his jobs report, we find out after he leaves office, there's like 70 million more lost jobs or whatever, because they were lying about the numbers. So I think South Africa's been lying about the numbers for 2 decades.
I think it's just gang mentality. They're not used to a government. So whoever gets in power, it's like, this is all ours until somebody comes and takes it away from us.
tribalism, actually. That's why I brought up, if you look at the map of South Africa, about the dead center of the actual country of Africa, a little bit to the right of dead center, you'll see this little circle. It's actually part of South Africa, but it's the people that live there don't want to be part of South Africa because they're a separate tribe. Because when the colonials went down there and broke up into countries, they didn't consider African governance, which was tribal. And the reason why they didn't do that is because the tribes always fought with each other. I have a few videos. I didn't want to touch on this subject, but it's all based in because of Nigeria. Because
show us where it is, Neil. I presented a screen. Yeah, tell
that
us.
area right there, the Lunga.
Okay, zoom in.
You go down where it says Google. Now it's right underneath where the word Google is. Now it's above it. See that LAS whatever? That circle, that one there where the green dot is now? That's actually a separate country, according to the people that live there. That's not South Africa.
So can you guys see the chat? I can't see the chat where I'm at.
Yes,
it's in the top right corner.
Well, I mean,
in the top right corner, it'll say, yeah, click on comments.
It says private comments.
Yeah, that'll open.
Oh, there it is. There it is.
Yeah, that tribe there, it's a separate tribe from the Zulus and all the other tribes in the area, and they actually want their own country because the way the colonials broke up Africa, they separated tribes, and they did that intentionally to break up the tribal warfare that was going on there for millennia. So people will tell you
kind of what I meant, because they don't think about it as a country. They think about it as it's our group now. This is ours until somebody can take it from us, and they keep all the wealth in one place.
Yeah, it's been like that forever.
Yeah,
in Africa, that's how they ran their governance.
That's what's got to change.
It's just not. It's not copacetic for the economic systems that we have now, because it's too warlike. It's basically it was based off of war. It was basically you had a whole bunch of Adolf Hitlers going around killing and enslaving people. Going back to my point of, if you do enough research, you'll find out the genesis of all the problems of these tribes are the Nigerians. I mean, I actually have some videos, but I didn't want to show it because I don't want my stream to get any strikes. But
that's also why they will never be an industrialized country until somebody does something radical.
Yeah, exactly. And then when somebody does, they get kicked out and
they execute
them. And then they take their country back, and it gets to be what it is now, a whole bunch of corruption.
I'll be right back, guys.
All right. We'll watch the scenery and stay warm in my house.
Yeah, I'm going to put a little boot path, an additional boot path in for the dogs, so you'll see me there in a sec. But I'll be back in 3 to 5 minutes.
I ought to put up a picture of Hawaiian weather so that way I can warm up.
I should set mine up in my window, and you can look at it twice.
Forget that.
I got about the same as what he's got.
I'm gonna start showing kitty cat videos if you do.
I watch your video. I watch those every day.
They're cute, aren't they? I love my cats. I've perfected the friendly cat bite.
I want to watch your landscaping channel. See what you do in the backyard this year.
I actually leveled out another part of it. I'll probably be finished out with the earth moving part of it probably tomorrow. And I'll reset the bricks because it'll all be more leveled and look nice. And then all I'll have to do is finish cleanup, cut the grapefruit trees stump down and put a tabletop on top of it. I got some more slate I brought in that I'm going to surround half moon shape around. Yeah, it's going to look good. And and all of it was brought on because the neighbor who owns half the fence, the way the fences are set up, I should have had the good side of the fence. But the way he's got it now, his backyard has two good sides of the fence, to where the way the whole neighborhood looks, it goes from west to east. The east side is the good side. So that way every house has backyard has one good side backyard fence between neighbors. They've got two of the good sides facing them. And oddly enough, I've got two of the bad sides because my neighbor on the other side, I've got the bad side of that side of the fence too. So what's up, William? So I've got 2x4 showing, pulling up the fence in my backyard on both sides because of the way they did it. So because of that, it kind of ignited a spark in me, and I was still kind and friendly with them and whatnot and haven't said anything, but I determined that I'll make my backyard look better than theirs, even though they gave me the shitty end of the fence. And so it's a personal challenge for me to make my backyard look better than theirs. So that's what got that going, little petty little fight. But the backyard's going to be beautiful because of it, and I enjoy landscape gardening. It's if I'm not getting paid to where it's a time thing where I have to get it done, I enjoy it.
Well, a new fence gives you a nice defined area to work with. It's like you got your canvas now.
Exactly. Wait till I put the lighting up there. Man, when it's totally done, it's gonna they're gonna be jealous. What's up, C4? And that's a good way to get petty jealousies out of the way. Or not, it might not even be petty jealousy, it's just something that irked me. So I'm innovating and using it in a positive manner and increasing the beauty of my backyard because I don't have the good end of the fence like I should have, But you guys, I'm telling you, but it's not going to bring no heat around here because I haven't told anyone around here about it.
The lady I bought my house from, she didn't like the neighbors that used to live. And so I've got a privacy fence on 3 sides. So you cannot see into their yard and they can't see into mine. And then I've got chain link on in between me and one neighbor. And then my front yard or the front of the backyard has got chain link so I can see. But she really hated the people next door, I guess. So
I guess we're kind of lucky here. We have an alleyway, so I don't have an actual neighbor behind me. We have about 30 foot of pavement. That's the alleyway. So I have a partial center block fence for the back and then 2 wood privacy fences for each side.
The houses on my block are all long lots. They go from a road to an alley.
Yeah, okay, so you have an alley as well, right on.
But way back, the people that had my house, it was a family. So they had a house next to a house. And I have half of 2 different lots.
Okay, I see. Yeah, I know a house that's like
I have 2 lots on one street, and I go halfway to the alley, and my neighbor goes from me back to the alley.
Right.
So that's just how it worked out back then.
So they got an alley address.
No, that's just your backyard.
Oh,
most of them had detached. They have detached garages.
What
mine being so wide, I've got an attached garage because I've got 2 lots wide, but I'm only 1 lot deep. Instead of being a long, skinny lot, I just got a big square.
What they did out here in this city was they took those long lots and they put houses on the back side of them accessed by the alleyway and gave them their own address. Now it's 2 houses and 2 lots instead of 1 lot, and that's how they doubled people when we're still
in this town now. Everybody is building the garage top apartments, mother-in-law apartments, you call them, or whatever you want to say, because there's no housing up around here, and they allowed people to do it, and everybody is adding on to their garages. And I guess it makes it a separate address, I guess, but there's some
if you have alleys and you keep up with your city council, you can just tell them if it becomes a problem, tell them to start paving the alleyways or maintaining the alleyways and give an alleyway a name and give an address. So that way they can double the amount of population inside the city limits without expanding the tax base, or you can expand the tax base without expending extra money to get that tax base increase.
Right downtown, most of the alleys are paved. One behind me is only a block long, and it's dirt. But the streets are paved around me.
Right on.
They just put in sidewalks like 4 years ago.
I have a feeling the area of the town I live in is going to get tore down for some sort of a massive renovation that's coming within the next couple of years.
I don't know what they're going to do with all that stuff that burned out there with you guys. Somebody's going to take it in the teeth. I mean,
Dude,
it's,
I think they should not allow anyone to build back in the area that was burnt down because it was a law that was made up here in Northern California that the town or the city of Paradise people couldn't rebuild because it was in a fire zone and it was a heavily Republican city. So now the LA burns down in areas that you shouldn't build, and all of a sudden they're talking about all of our state money's going to go rebuild them. Well, why are we rebuilding them? Oh, they're a heavy Democrat populated area. That's why they're allowed to rebuild, and Northern California wasn't allowed to rebuild after fire, and no one's
You're right.
talking about that. And that still pisses me off, and not one person's talking about it. Everyone's talking about let's donate national donation to rebuild Southern California. Well, why? Why? Here in Northern California, you're not doing that for us. As a matter of fact, you did the exact opposite. You made it illegal for us to rebuild. So why are they allowed to and we're not? We wanted to get away from the city. You want to create a bigger city? Hell no, I'm not down for that. Use my tax dollar to create a 15-minute city after you burn out those people. Make it illegal. You already made it illegal up here. Why isn't it statewide illegal? Why is it only Northern California it's illegal to rebuild in fire zones?
our town government is way Democratic, but they keep using like Seattle and stuff as their model, and they want condos by the water.
Yeah.
They're making town tall, is what they're doing. They're making everything tall, and
It's
just
reminding me
taking
of the Cascadia fault line.
well, my mom owns a really nice house down in they call it Old Town, where all the centennial houses and stuff are, and they
Yeah.
really regulate that neighborhood. And you can't tear down a house and rebuild. You have to leave one wall. So you'll see these people, they'll tear it down to one wall, dig a basement, build a whole new house, and they keep this one old wall to pass, the muster or whatever.
Yeah.
And but they're just making everything so tight in town. And I'm just out of town, but I'm 7 blocks from the Grand Traverse Bay, right on Lake Michigan. I'm 2 blocks from the park and the lake. I got a lake right down my street. I couldn't be in a better fucking spot. And nobody can touch where I'm at because we're all just old houses here. And I just bought small, and that was that. So it's just me and my dog.
Right on. Yeah, I got grandioso plans for the next couple of years. Oh, that's something. Let me see if I can't find this video.
I just say buy small and keep it all.
That is a good way to look at it.
You don't owe anybody, and I don't know. This place is so busy in the summertime.
In Pensacola, Florida, the Pensacola Beach, for about 4 months, you can get like I don't know what this is in the 80s. You could get a business license for like 6 months to operate a seasonal business, I believe they called it, because in a 4-month time period, if you had a business on the beach, you could make more than enough money to provide for the whole year. And those
Sure.
business licenses were highly desired and very expensive because of the amount of money you could make in a short period of time if you had one of those licenses.
I know the people that own our local ice cream shop, little tiny ice cream shop. They're open 5 months a year. They go to Florida every year after that.
There you go. There you go.
They're up here for the summer, and then they're gone down into the Keys. But they make enough money in 5 months to support a house up here and down in the Keys. So that's the way a lot of places up here are. Just they cater to the tourists all summer long.
That's it. That's where taxes and tariffs come in handy.
Yeah. My taxes, oh boy.
Oh, I don't want to talk about taxes, man. I live in one of the most taxed areas in the nation. If you sneeze out here, they charge you $1.
My mom, they live on the lake that I live by. I'm on the other side of it, but they live on it. They have a condo, and they built a house right next to the condos. And their taxes are ungodly over there.
Yeah, as soon as you build something nice, they're going to crank the taxes on you. It's tough to avoid it.
Oh yeah.
Are you still alive?
He was out there shoveling. I was watching him.
Man, that's why I'm asking if he's still alive. I was expecting him to be a snow fucking frozen statue by then. Just bye, see you later. See you in spring, JM. When you
You know
thaw out.
what? You know what? Just that little bit of shoveling, I think you guys saw most of it, is enough to warm you up if it's super cold.
Oh,
But
I
right
know.
Oh yeah.
right now where I'm at is about 50 degrees because I got a little bit of heat in here. But right now it feels like it's about 80
Yeah, you're probably gonna
because my
sweat
body
like
temperature,
crazy.
it only takes a couple minutes. So,
I had about 10 inches today when I cleaned all mine up.
Yeah.
I got probably about what you got actually on the ground.
okay.
It looks pretty damn close.
This is the most that we've got in the last, I'd say 3 or 4 years.
Yeah. I know I was looking into my pictures and it was 19 when we had our last big storm up here. I know. We got 18 inches in one 3-day period. And that's a lot of freaking snow coming down. It's
Mm-hmm. Yep, and you barely get your driveway shoveled, and then the snowplow comes in and graciously plows you back in.
oh yeah.
Yeah.
They run just a loop up here because I'm actually on a hospital route or an ambulance route. You're on like a main road too. So if your driveway was over there, you'd probably get plowed in every couple hours. That's how they do it with me.
Yep, I used to live on the main street. It's called King Street, right? And absolutely, and the boulevard, which is the area between the sidewalk and the road, literally was only about 1.5 feet, maybe 2 feet most
Right?
wide. So like every time the plow goes by, it not only loads up your driveway, but the entire stretch of the sidewalk. And I owned 3 properties back to back there.
Oh,
And that was like 3, 4, 5, like you said, like it's like every couple hours. Yeah, been there.
we call it an easement between because they just put our sidewalks in, but that gap is only like 3 feet wide, and it's so full right now that. But they do our sidewalks up here.
So at some point they should come by with a snowblower or a front end loader or something, some dump trucks, and actually just remove it.
That's what they do up here too.
Good. Yeah, that's the way to go. Once it gets too much.
Where I'm at, they can't put it there anymore towards the road, so they turned and they've been spraying it up in the yard because like you said, the truck shoots it up and it gets the driveway and the sidewalk. And the sidewalk guy comes and he's got to put it somewhere.
Mhm.
So they fight back and forth until we get too much snow, and they don't remove it from where I'm at. They just start throwing it in people's yards.
Yeah, that's like here. There's like 100-acre yards or sites, very similar to like a dump, but it's for snow. And like once it gets too much, they go by with the snow blowers and or front end loaders and start hauling it out with dump trucks.
That's what they do down in town because they have nowhere to put it downtown.
Yeah,
the gravel trains, they're just full of snow. They come by my house all the time. I don't know where they're taking it. Somewhere out of town. Yeah. There's one by my mall, and that thing will have snow in it in July because they put so much in there through the winter.
Yeah, it takes that long for the core to melt.
Yeah.
If you pay attention to this year's run in the cryptocurrency and the 45-year time period for the metals to move and the collapse of housing, then you take advantage of all that stuff. By the end of the year, you might have enough money easily to be able to replace your driveway and put in a heated driveway. So that way the snow melts and you don't have to do any of that shit.
I just put my driveway in 4 years ago.
Yeah, but if you make enough money to put a heated one in, you'll never have to worry about snow in it ever.
No, I don't want that.
Well, like I can see the appeal to that and why it would sound like it's a good idea. But I think unless you're heating it with geothermal, I think the electric bill on that's going to be pretty hefty because like once you drop to say 0 Fahrenheit, it's going to take a lot of heat on that driveway. But I still
maybe,
like
I'd
the
have
idea.
to run a boiler. I mean, that's crazy.
no, they've got electrical lines they throw in the concrete.
Electric. You California people, we don't.
I-
I had a
Well, you gotta understand, I just-
$46 electric bill, Neil. $46.
I just built for
Nice.
PG&E, which is an electric company out here up in Napa, right by the Napa airport. They had a new distribution center they were putting in, and
I 79.
the roads that they had there has we were building down the center of them. They were putting in charging units underneath the road so that their electric trucks could get charged up as they're driving down the road to the plant. So the infrastructure is being put in right now. So
It's
yeah.
possible, especially if you've got nuclear. If you've got nuclear power.
I don't know where they're going to get the power from, but they're putting it in the roads out here in the Northern California Bay Area. It's small areas, it's not widespread by no means, but it's the electric company that's doing it, and that is a large company in California. So
Hey,
It's the
79.
opposite of the trolleys, though, isn't it?
what's up, Pat? Sorry I didn't see you come in. Oh, 79. You're blue here. I can't time you out. Who did that?
Hey, Pat. What's going on here? We're just chilling, as you can see in the top right there.
I mean, if
Really?
you're looking at JM's screen, how can you do anything else but be chilling? Like I put on an extra coat just looking at that snow. And it's 57 degrees where I'm at.
It's
I actually have the window open and the fan on.
It's 72 where I'm at.
Yeah, you got the fucking heater on, I imagine.
Absolutely.
Is this the first time you've been up on a panel, Tom?
Yes, it is.
Right on.
I'm
Congratulations.
Well, thank you. I'll step down. Let somebody come up. Thank
Oh,
you for
no,
letting me try it.
There ain't nobody here. Just us three and whoever's in chat.
And you're good
No
to
one
stick
else can
around
talk
if you
to
want to.
Yeah, I can have up to 8 people up here.
Yeah,
No, I'll get out of here. Thanks, guys.
it's good chatting with you, Tom.
I'm
I'll be in
glad to pop your cherry.
But I think he brings up a good point. Like, I'm just wondering, Neil, when do I get on your payroll?
What do you mean? I gotta get some money first, bro. I'm going backwards in monetization. My viewing hours are going down the more videos I put up, bro. I'm back down to 2,250 hours.
Oh, that's because of the way they calculate. It's on a rolling 12-month basis.
I know. I need to quit doing videos for a while, about a year. You know, only do like one a week, so that way I can get them monetized. Hell, I don't know how to fucking work the math on that.
I think you're doing it right, but I think that you need to learn how to stream on Restream so that you don't have to worry about the hours on StreamYard, right? You can just use. But I know, like, you already just go direct through YouTube, but I think live streams are a great way to build those hours up.
You see that, JM?
And yeah, Neil pays in platinum probably. But I'm telling you, like, the goal of getting monetized, like, be careful not to be too overly anxious, because the truth is that's just step one. Then you got to crank those hours up to 10 times that to really be like even making 100 a month.
Oh, I know, JM. And I've had my channel for almost 3 years, and I'm still 800 hours away from being monetized. I say that just as a point, but I understand that this channel will probably never be monetized to the point where I'll be able to pay a bill off of it. And I'm even talking about a coffee bill.
But that's not true, because on the right-hand side of your StreamYard screen, there's a thing where it says banners.
Mm-hmm.
See that? And you can click on that, create a banner, and say, if you like the content and want to support me, here's my Cash App. And
yeah, no, I don't. I'm not that type of person, bro.
Well, I'm just saying that's a more efficient way of monetizing, because you get most of it. You know, you're not losing 30% off the top.
I agree with 71.
Nobody's
79.
That's not a very nice thing to say, 79.
Oh, it is a very nice thing to say.
Is it?
Yeah, I time her out enough. She deserves it.
Okay.
On Nickel, she hardly gets to say a word in before I time her out. And she stays for the abuse, so gives her a little leeway. That's why I made her blue, so I couldn't time her out here too, because I'd want to.
So I guess you're not going to get an OnlyFans then. Is
Oh,
that
hell
right?
no. Oh, hell no.
Okay. Hey, C4. And anyone else I missed earlier. So what else is
Oh,
new?
I always think 79's insulting me. Sorry about that, Tom. I didn't know she directed it at you.
79's not going to pay to watch me either. But I wouldn't be surprised if 79 would pay me to not sing, though.
As soon as the number gets big enough, let me know. I'll start singing to get paid not to sing.
Sing for the supper.
I'm thin for a reason.
Hey, C4, I'm just chilling. Chilling with Neil and friends. Or Neil and friends.
It's cheaper than a long distance phone call.
Yeah.
That's the way I see it. That's why everyone should do a stream or need to hook up with people, talk bullshit. If they want to come up on panel, you can. It's just like fucking Zoom.
Yeah, for anyone that wants to join the panel there, even if you never have before, the StreamYard link is pinned at the top of the chat. And you guys saw live here, we helped Tom work his way through it.
Get
So,
everyone familiar with it.
mind you, Tom's pretty smart though, right? Like he actually caught on quicker than some people. It'll take them half an hour to an hour to actually
I
figure
still
it out.
haven't figured out Restream, and you told me twice, bro, because it doesn't come up the same on my end. One day I'll figure it out. Or I'll get a job here real soon and get the money and just buy a fucking StreamYard full package for a year. And then be done with it for a year.
Yeah. There's that.
Well,
There's a few others. There's a few others too. I think the one is EV Mux. It's another one. Like a lot of the karaoke channels are using that one because the audio is better than StreamYard. But I think they have a free plan too. But I still think Restream's probably your best next logical step if you want to get more hours than what you can get with StreamYard, and you still want those features.
I'm actually, I'm just happy giving any information I can give to people that might help them out that they want to listen to. That's more, I never intended to make money off this channel.
Okay.
I intended to get information to people on this channel, and I've been able to half-ass successfully do that, and that's cool. Telling people about Platinum and a good play that's coming this year on Platinum. Hope people start taking advantage. I've heard a couple people say they have. They'll be very happy that they listened to my show and got Platinum when it starts jumping through the roof. And that right there is why I did it. Why I do this.
I've just sort of seen and observed a lot more people talking about it, asking about it than I did, say, 3 years ago.
Yeah, that's about when I started. Takes a while. That's cool, Tom. You don't have to buy it on Platinum. Like I even give stocks that I see like a couple of some years ago. I'm not sure. It's a while ago. Rolls Royce, like in about a 3 month period, like went up 150%. And I told this dude, about a couple of weeks before it was going to happen. And he said, so he bought some, and because it's online, you don't see the same people a lot. And about 6 months ago. I saw him online. He thanked me for that tip. And there's someone in here in this chat that I did similar to. I told him about this one stock. It was going to, do some great things real shortly. And they picked up a couple shares, and within 3 days, it over doubled.
Yeah. And for anyone that's on a really tight budget, that's another great thing with YouTube. You don't need to support financially. Just like people were saying in the chat, hitting the thumbs up.
Yeah, no, you don't even need to think about it on this channel.
But
Matter
yeah,
of
it's
fact,
supposed to be free.
What I'll encourage you to do if you have no money, watch the Economic Ninja. He's telling people how to do things with this crypto stuff, starting with $10. So if you can afford $10 and watch it grow to $100 in a week or so, pull that 80 out, leave that 20 to ride. You got all your money back. Pull that 10. Now you got 70 to play with. It's pure profit. Start rolling with it. You'll find out. Yeah, you have. That's the one. That's the one I told you about, Jeffro. In 3 days, it went from 22 to 45. I just didn't want to say it. I didn't want to be too braggadocious.
I just dropped the link.
Over the next 6 months, if you don't have but $10 to throw at anything, I'd suggest watching Economic Ninja on X and YouTube and sign up to his newsletters and stay up on what he tells you within the time period that you get those emails and X alerts, and just invest $10 and see what the hell happens. And then you might, not guaranteed, but you might be able to say in 6 months, hey, I got money to play with now. Or you might say, well, it was only $10 I lost. I learned something though. And that learning something from that $10 should be enough to enlighten you on how to make that $10, instead of disappearing to nothing, turn into something the next time you try it. Because every failure should turn into a future success because you learned something. So even if you don't get successful following the ninja's the way he's laying it out, it'll only be $10. But I can tell you what, right now, I know too many people who've made more than their money back, and it was only $100, and the guy made $1,800 in 3 days. So
he does a lot more than just the crypto too. Like he's definitely into real estate, precious metals. It's just an all-around entrepreneur.
He's into cycles. He's into making money off of the economic cycles. Right now, we're in a cycle of crypto. He'll tell you that. He'll tell you this, the precious metals. We're in the cycle for them to jump. When they're going to really start jumping, he's kind of going to tell you, take your crypto profits, throw them in that. And that's not going to last forever either, because you got another cycle called the housing crash cycle. And you're going to take all that extra profit you have and turn it over into the housing crashes market, to where by the end of the year, you should easily have doubled your net worth if you just get what he's saying and don't treat him like he's going to call you up and tell you, hey, do this now, do this now. He kind of sort of is going to lead you to that direction and give you the tools you need to do. Quiet, Silver. He'll give you the tools you need, or the information you need to research on your own to get on top of your own investments. And that's more what he wants to see people. He's giving you what you need to get you excited enough to want to learn more on your own. And by doing that and following what he says, you should do well. If all you do is follow what he says with no other interest in doing what he says, don't go to his show. And yes, that means I'm anti-promoting him for those people who have that personality type, because that's not the type he wants to promote. I guarantee it.
Yeah,
he wants people who can think, who can learn, and who just haven't had the time to do that, because life is life. For those people, the ninja's your man. If you just want someone to tell you when to buy and sell, don't go there.
There's lots of great information there that he provides for free. But I think he's trying to develop something.
No, it's a business for him. He all the time he gets upset with me for not wanting to make money off my show. He's like, Neil, you got to treat it like a business, bro. You need to make money on this. Like, man, Travis, I'm just doing this because I want to get information out. I don't care. You're the guy who's going to be the fucking teacher. I've got other things going on. You know what I'm going to be doing. He goes, yeah, but you need to be making money off this. I'm like, nah, I don't want you to promote me. Don't do it.
Yeah, you don't have to, right? It's just, you can if you want.
What do you mean? What are you talking about?
I'm saying you don't have to make money off of any
I'm
social
not.
media that you're on.
I'm not like
Or
anyone you've probably ever met. I so don't care about a lot of things that people think are important. It
Yeah.
doesn't bother me one way or another. Money? Eh. The only concept I care about in money is I understand the more you have, the better off you are. I've known that for a long time, and I've known how to get myself out of this scenario for a long time. It just hasn't been the right scenario for me to get myself out of this one. It's the wrong time for me to be rich my whole life. So I just decided to have fun and not care about money. And that's why I joined the union, because that way I could go blow my whole paycheck and still know I got something thrown in retirement. I still got my, vacation coming. I got my insurance, and I blew all my money because I was stupid. Was I really stupid, or was I just having fun not caring about money? And that's my way of looking at money, because it's so easy to make. Money is so damn easy to make. If you just focus yourself 1 year on seriously making money, want to make money and not get your own little personal feelings involved in different differentials of wording. Oh, I'm a trader, I'm an investor, and then you get past all that bullshit, and you just started looking at, okay, if I do this and I wait till this happens and I pull this and then I do this and I do this and I do this, and you follow that, it's easy as fuck to make money. And the longer you do that, the easier it is.
yet at the same
Chapter one.
time, as easy as it is to make money, it's actually, many people would be surprised, it's tougher to hang on to it once you
That's
got
the problem.
it. True.
Yeah, we ain't talked about that part of it. There's a whole bunch more. Making money's easy, baby. It's fucking easy as hell. Yeah, holding on to it's another part, because that's where you get boofunkled, and that's why statistically, after 5 years, if you win the lotto, statistically you're going to claim bankruptcy. That's the prominent statistic of people who win the lotto. For 5 years, they're millionaires, and then they're fucking homeless
Yep.
because you don't know how to keep it. People can give you $5 million. It ain't going to last you more than 5 years before you go through it because you don't know what to do with it. That's the hard part.
Yeah, and the IRS is going to be one of the first people on there.
Mm-hmm. You'll be a debt slave. You want to know what the China One Belt Road Initiative is? Win the lotto. Pretty much. And if you don't understand that, learn about politics. Because it has a lot to do with investing. Because the country doesn't have the money to invest, don't invest in that country. That's why I say West Africa, man, they don't give a crap about China's One Belt Road, and they've already told them to shove it. They told Russia to shove it. They told America to shove it. They've told everybody to shove it because they're doing it on their own, and I applaud them. Don't like what they're saying about America because I'm an American, but I applaud every bit of what they're doing in that part of the country for their own people. It's called ultimate freedom. You can't not be proud of someone who wants to stand up for themselves, whether they agree with you or not. They're standing up for themselves, and I applaud that. South Africa, that's a 180. They sold their people out. Well, around 2011, when the price of platinum started dropping. Sorry, I'm taking it.
No worries. I'm chilling. I'm reading the comments too.
Yep. When I get on a rant, I don't read the comments. My brain gets distracted easily.
Yeah, it's tough. When I'm on panel, it's even tougher
Yeah,
with the chat.
that's it's funny. I promote Ninja, but I don't listen to him because I gotta watch chat so much. I blocked him out what he's saying. I hear him, but I don't pay attention because I run off of cues. I can tell by his vocalization and stuff when he's fixing in the stream, when he's going to change directions, and that's why I throw up different things when I throw them up. But I actually don't pay attention to what he's saying because I'm watching the chat, staying focused on that. So I miss a lot of what Ninja says.
Fair enough. Some of it, I think, will go into your subconscious, though, and you can still gain knowledge.
That or I could just call him and ask.
There you go.
I have that advantage. And here's another great thing that even his business partners can't say. And for anyone in this chat, or anyone who knows anything about being anyone, if you call someone and they always answer, and if they can't answer, they always call you back at the first opportunity, you are important. Ninja always answers. Travis, he always answers when I call because he knows what I know. It doesn't. I called him. He's on the side of the road in Nevada, broke down doing a live stream. I called him. He answered. He's in an airport going to freaking somewhere. I call him. He'll answer. If he's getting on the plane, he'll stop and he'll answer because it's me calling. He doesn't even do that for his business partners.
Well, I would say that actually sounds to me more like he views you as family. You know?
Yeah.
Or friend.
Nah. Well, you make family. You're not born with it. I mean, you are, but you might not stick with them because they might be assholes. And so you go live your own life and you create your own family. And yeah, he's part of that. And I am, similar. I mean, okay, the first time I was ever with him was that Silver Symposium. And he specifically made sure I sat right beside him at a private dinner conference meeting that happened after the show with some very important people. And I was to his right side. He made sure that I was engaged and, everyone knew my name and who I was at that table. And all those people at that table have YouTube shows, and you probably know each and every one of them by their YouTube show. And I had dinner and spoke with them for 4 hours because Ninja made sure that happened.
Yep, I know who you're talking about. That's great.
Yeah.
All good
and each
people.
of them listened when I spoke to him too.
At first, I was going to say, "Oh, he just wanted, security, private security."
That might be too, because I am a trained bodyguard after all.
Yeah, but he wouldn't, necessarily want you that engaged in the conversation if that were the case.
No, he and I are in the same wavelength. I spoke about things that I knew about that was in the conversation without overstepping any boundaries. He at no point in time looked like he felt uncomfortable with anything I was saying or who I was talking to or engaging with, because I kept an eye on that.
Cool.
Yeah, I can read people pretty good. That's why I don't like. It was hard for this internet thing with me because I like looking persons in the eye. I can read body language. I can like when Ninja's on and he's showing his face, I can read his facial expressions and I can hear the tone in his voice. That tells you a lot about people, or at least it does me. It does, and I can actually read his intention of what he's going to do by how he's saying what he's saying. That's how good I am at reading people. So diplomatically, I was very diplomatic that night, and didn't cross any boundaries, didn't break any straws. Actually, it was exact opposites as I am on my own show. I was not arrogant and obstinate.
What am I thinking? What am I thinking?
What are you thinking? I don't know you that well. I'm sorry. We don't hardly ever chat except for once every Sunday, and we actually probably don't see each other except for doing that. Some people you just have a connection with, Jim. You just link up with them. It's a energy, a wavelength, a pattern or something. And I don't know, Ninja and I we're on the same, we just get it.
I was just joking around.
Well, I wish I was that way with more people because it's a very unique perspective to have in their lives when you connect with someone like that. It's a good relationship. And it's usually fulfilling on both ends, both financially and emotionally.
79, right? 79 got it.
She could have said that about me and she'd have been right because I wake up thinking about where's my bowl.
I've been working on the same one for about the last 2 hours.
See, I've already packed my bowl. This is my second one.
Wow. Here, let's see. Let's see if I
And
can.
I'm always impressed with how much smoke comes out of these tiny lungs of mine. Wow.
That's where I'm at. About half done.
Excuse me. Let's see here. All right, you stay down there. Hold on a second. I'm not gonna pull a fucking nickel over you guys.
Hey, that's cool. Kitty cat's in the. Is that the chair?
Yeah, that's
It's in the camera view anyway.
She's my butt warmer. Yeah, she's just like my fucking cat wife, man. When I go to bed, I sleep with my hands behind my head, up underneath the pillow, and she's always like I sleep like this. She's always right here, and if not, she's always right there.
There you go.
That's what I've been working on. You notice how it's half gone? I decided to leave that one alone and
Okay.
try this one. And you see how it's almost half gone? That's what I've been working
Nice.
this year.
Oh, what do they say? Everything in moderation, right?
Okay. Yeah, sure. I'll agree with that one.
Not everything, but anything that's good. You know, you don't want to overdo anything that's good.
Well, that's why I changed type. Change streams.
Jeffra goes cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. Been there. That was a long time ago, though. Silly rabbit. Tricks are for kids. Nice living room, Neil.
You know, I was just looking at it thinking the only thing wrong with it is there's no fire going. That would be the exact right room to be in with the picture you're showing if it had a fireplace that was actually had a fire in it.
Right. Do you mind if I move in next door?
Sure. Hey, we can play piano together.
Right on. Hey, how come mine's different? There's a light in mine.
Yours is backwards from mine.
Is it? Very interesting.
What difference is there?
It looks like there's a. Oh, I know what it is. It's because I
Yeah,
got
I
my
see.
outside camera on, so that light
Yeah.
that you see by the fireplace is actually one of the street
Yeah.
lights.
By the mantle, I see it.
Yeah, that's one of the street lights.
Oh, cool.
Let's see. Watch. I'll switch it back, and it should line right up. Yep,
Yep. That's cool.
that is neat.
So light penetrates their blue screen or green screen technology. That's cool.
Yeah. Now, if I covered the camera lens on the
Yeah.
outside camera, then you wouldn't see that at all.
What would it look like if you did that one? That would look weird. A light coming through a brick wall.
Okay. Let's see.
But see, you got two lights, so it must be the intensity. Yep, look at that. You should play some creepy music right now.
Yep. Oh, look at that! So there's a UFO in it because that's a car driving by.
Ah, that's funny. Oh shit! Who thought you could have fun with the virtual backgrounds on fucking stream?
Yeah, good call on that.
I'm going back to my house. And that actually is a nice house. There you go. Except for Cheech has 2 joints.
Yeah.
One of them looks lit. That's a nice house too, but it's got an extra lamp on it.
Yeah.
But it was on the porch. It was set right.
Take care, Jeffro.
See you later, Jeffro. Thank you. Thank you for stopping by, brother.
Yeah. Gerald's saying, okay, now we've come to the entertainment section of this live stream.
Ren and Snippy.
I was thinking about jumping out there in the snow and doing a snow angel
Why? It sounds cold.
for entertainment purposes. Yeah, and that's the main reason that I decided not to.
Yeah, no, I don't encourage that kind of behavior.
Okay.
That is not a good thing to do. Now, if you were in like the Bahamas, I'd be like, yeah, jump on that white stuff. It's called sand. It's nice and warm out there. It's the opposite of snow, but it's just as white, but it's warm. It's called beach sand. And Maine has sand. And I'll be like, yeah, okay. You're right. And it sucks to be in Maine on the beach. Because it's cold.
That's actually, that's a good way to stay in shape too. If you live near a beach, is walking through the water, so that, the water's say halfway up to your knees.
Yeah, resistance.
Yep, and through the sand, if it's like a deeper, really finer sort of
Like
grit.
Pensacola Beach kind of sand that's powdery and it feels like talcum powder squishing every time you walk on it. That shit's so fucking got on my nerves. It's like raking fingernails on a chalkboard. It would squish every time you step on it. And it was the sand. It was fucking disturbing.
Tom can walk on water.
Well, if it's salty enough.
79 wants a snow angel. See, so this is where the monetization part comes in.
$20, he'll go out there and do it.
No, gold. 79 is gold, right? She receives gold, she pays gold.
Okay, 1 ounce of gold.
I'd be all right with a 10.
That way you don't have to do it. That way you don't have to do it.
10th ounce. I'm all right with that.
Okay, a 10th ounce. That's still like almost $300. So.
Yeah. But like I'm open to a full ounce or a kilogram bar. I'm open to receiving. I do kind of feel like just diving into that snow just for effect, but I don't want to ruin your show.
Do it. Oh, speaking of, says someone put up 1 grain. That got me thinking. Excuse me. Through my verse. Proof in fact, according to the Constitution of the United States, 450 or 250 grains of silver and 25 grains of gold equal a United States dollar. That means silver is fractional gold. So if gold is a tier 1 asset, why would a fraction of a tier 1 asset not be a tier 1 asset? Dun dun dun. Let the mystery be solved.
That's right. Well said. Yeah, no Speedos. There won't be any Speedos in the snow.
Oh, come on, man.
Now, you know what? If I was like the ultimate Canadian, I would have a snowmobile outfit here, and I'd quick change into it and then go out there and do that. Snow angel, because then I wouldn't get completely soaked and frozen.
Gerald, I'm gonna have to take away 79's blueness so I can time her out. She's got you fidizzled.
Yeah, the polar bear plunges, those are crazy. My brother's done that a few times,
Uh,
jumping into like freezing water. You don't want to do that if you have heart problems, though. That I can tell you.
yeah, most definitely not in that scenario. About the furthest I would ever do would, and when I get a house, I want a house. I'd like to have a house that has a shower and a bathtub in the same area. Is fill up the whirlpool bathtub with real hot water and go take a real quick, like a 1 minute cold water only shower to get your, because the change from very, very cold to very, very hot is actually good for you. And that's why they do the polar plunge. But you can do a lesser version of it at your
In the
house.
shower. Yeah.
And that's as far as I would go. And I guarantee you that hot tub would have to be a couple feet away, already filled up with hot water.
There was a spot that I went to here in Canada. It was actually in British Columbia, which is just north of California. And they had the natural hot springs there, just naturally heated. And that's a lot of the people do that. They'll sit in the hot tub for 5 minutes and then go lay out in their swimsuit in the snow piles.
Yeah. Yeah.
For like 10 or 2, you stretch it out. You start with like 5 seconds.
Yeah.
Right. And you go back in. This is definitely not medical advice. I'm just saying some people do it.
Well, that sounds like something I would do.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That'll get your heart rate going. That's for darn sure.
I'm actually working. I started yesterday and today. Started working my cardiovascular because I realized I am way. Although my muscular is good, my cardiovascular sucks freaking ass.
Oh.
So because I haven't worked in like a year, little over a year, so I haven't been as active, and I'm getting the statistic for iron workers that stay till retirement in 20, 30 years is they average 18 retirement checks till they die. That's the average.
Whoa. And
Yeah.
What period is that? Every month or every week?
Monthly check.
Okay, so they live a little over a year, maybe a year and a half.
Year and a half. Yeah, that's the average. And I think this me not working is God's way of letting me have a year off to get a feeling for how I'm gonna die if I take this route and just do like other iron workers. And so I started a cardiovascular. I'm gonna actually start tomorrow. It's raining out here, but I used to jog about 5-6 years ago. I jogged it quite a bit, and I gave that up. So I'm gonna start small and start getting back in cardiovascular shape and get back in basically just work cardio. I've been doing past 2 days. I've been standing here doing a high knee lift run in place with like 3 to 5 minutes just to stimulate some cardio. Also, all the digging in the backyard. That's why I don't mind shoveling and doing all that shoveling work, because it's also a good little cardio. Because I've been trying to get that back in well, basically in fight condition. I know because we said 57, but
well, and if you think your cardio is way out, you probably know this too. But I'm just going to throw it out there. Even going for walks, like say building up to 5-mile walks first, so you don't overdo it. A good way to do, especially as we get older. We can still feel like we're 20 years younger than we are and overdo it.
Luckily, I live on top of a hill, and I do actually. I have kept up the walking, and so when I say my cardio's going, I've stayed in basically fight condition for the past 40 years, and past year I let that slide. So I'm like still probably above the average cardio. But for me, it's not good enough, and I noticed it because, like, when I was carrying slate, and I'll show it in one of my videos in the back when I do my backyard video. I carried 4 or 5 pieces of slate from a neighbor's yard across the house in his backyard to my backyard, and going up the little bit of the hill and the stairway and stuff. I felt a little in my legs, a little burning and stuff like that. So I took more weight the second time because I'm just stagnant for years, not good.
And it can really drop fast.
Oh yeah, they've done studies on astronauts. I think it's the biological twins. They're genetically identical. Is that the biological twin? I think it is biological twin.
I
There
think
was
so.
these two guys. They were brothers. They both became astronauts. Their genetics was exactly the same. Everything exactly the same, except for there was two of them. One of them, they went to live in the International Space Station for like 6 months. The other one they kept down on Earth. And when the one came back from space, they had a perfect sample, scientific, researchable, and study of what's different atmosphere does for the human body. A lot, I don't recall the exact specifics, but there was a lot of medical things. His bone density was less. There was a lot of medical things that changed on him, different from his brother, his
Muscle
biological
atrophy.
brother. Even if there was a lot of medical differences that occurred to his body, being in a weightless environment for 6 months.
For sure.
And it wasn't. That's why they make them. I don't know if you see any of the videos. They've actually got these big rubber bands, and they make them feign running movements. That's actually to keep them alive, because your heart stops fucking. And we need. It's a muscle. Your heart's a muscle. We need gravity. We need that so your muscle gets a workout as it's working. You put yourself in a weightless environment, your heart gets lazy and weak.
Yeah.
A lot of bad things happen. Bone density, a lot of bad things can happen. So they got to overcome that before we do space travel.
I'd say. Yeah, you're not going to make it. You're not going to make it to Mars with that sort of situation.
Yeah.
Like, I often wonder how are they going to deal with water? Like, you need water to survive.
There's water on Mars.
No, I'm talking about the trip there. I'm talking about getting
you'd be
there.
surprised at what recycling can do.
I don't want to hear about that.
I don't want to talk about it, but I know what it is. Yeah.
I'll tell you what. Like as much as I think it's grand, it's a grand idea. I'm not signing up for that.
No, neither am I. I'm waiting until a new technology comes along before I go to space. I'll tell you that. I want what replicators. There you go, where you can take matter out of the air and manipulate it into a physical object. Like I'm holding a cup right now. This cup is made of matter. It's just in a certain format that it holds water, and it's got tea in it. Tea is also a particulates of matter, just in a certain format. There's a machine that we can develop one day that'll be able to take that matter and create it into these different forms, and it'd be exactly that form. The only weirdness of it is the way it'll be created, but it'll still be, because the tea I'm looking at right now is just water, caffeine, sugar, and milk. Those are all components that were put together. Those components could be pulled out of the air. The same base materials can be pulled out of the air as soon as we get the technology and put into a physical form. We can take the atoms, and it'll come one day. I'm a forward looker. People were laughing about me in space mining, and yet I heard President Trump saying something about us going into space mining. Isn't that odd? President of the United States talked about it. Neil talked about it. Who else has been talking about it?
Space Miner. Space Miner's been talking about it.
Yeah, and how many other thousands of YouTubers who are influencers? You know what I'm saying? No one talks about it except for those people who. I mean, I've already seen the design for a freaking robotic satellite type thing. Has an extension arm that goes to asteroids, and it can basically vacuum up an asteroid and spew out the minerals and whatnot that are non-valuable, and separate the minerals and stuff that are valuable, and then go back and deposit a cylinder of the valuable materials, send it back to the moon for processing, and then send it to Earth, and it all be robotic.
I'm with Tom.
Have designs for it.
I agree with Tom. You know, I'm not. I'm okay debating, but if I have to argue, it's $20 an argument. But
Oh,
I agree with Tom.
for debating, we can't get to the moon because we want people on the moon. So when you go to mine, you're talking robotics. You don't need oxygen. You don't need water. You don't need food. You don't have to worry about an atmosphere. You don't have to worry about a spaceship. You don't have to worry about sleep. You don't have to worry about a human. You don't have to worry about space suits. You don't have to worry about asteroids. You don't have to worry about any of that. It's so much cheaper to send a robotic unit out there to mine an asteroid than it is to send a human to the moon. I 100% agree. I just disagree in the way you stated it. You're right. We can't get to the moon. The reason why we can't get to the moon is because when we did get to the moon, we actually gave 4% of the country's GDP to getting there. Right now, I think NASA has a 20 to 40, $60 billion a yearly budget. Well, if we wanted to get to the moon like we did in the 60s, it was like 4 or 5% of the GDP. So if we were to do that again right now, our GDP is what, like 2 trillion? 5% of that would be a couple hundred billion, what, 300-400 billion?
Yeah,
But if you could get the Congress to give $400 billion to NASA like they did last time we went, I guarantee it would be there again. The thing that people don't think about is the money. No one wants to pay the money to get there. So we wait to develop different technologies, but it's still going to cost money. Part of the different wait for technologies I've been speaking of, as a matter of fact, they're called small and micro nuclear reactors. I mean, if you've been paying attention to my channels, the country of England, and I know they're stupid and don't know anything about space, they already signed a contract and paid Rolls-Royce to build them a small modular reactor that will be used for, wait for it, for dramatic effect, drum roll, a moon base by 2030. Interesting. So the country of England is financing a power source specifically for a moon base, for which they've already contracted Rolls-Royce to build for the year 2030. So something's going to happen to where we can afford to get there by 2030, because the country of England is going to have a moon base there starting around 2030. Now, yes, there are going to be delays. There's always delays. Our country, there's always delays. It'll probably be more like 2032, 2033. But they've still already planned and designated funds to go there, which means we've already paid for it, or at least they have, and they're not even a spacefaring nation. Now that I think about it, they're going to have to rely on America to bring it up there. So that means that we're going to have something going as well. Because why would the English people only want a small modular reactor up there and nothing else? Because they don't have a space agency, so they're going to have to rely on us. So that means we're going to be up there. Now you're looking at financial investment opportunities. Like about a year ago, when I gave the actual names of companies that are into this type of thing, they were really cheap at the time. They're a little bit more expensive now. But, as time goes by, people will get more interested and see the facts. And by then, those stocks will be $22 or $23 instead of $1 or $2. Those countries have already made the move. We're going to have a space station, a space colony on Mars of some sort or another. That's all there is to it. They've already determined. China was the last one to give us the determination. They found H3 on the dark side of the moon. You know what H3 is? They use it for rocket fuel. Holy shit. So now you're telling me we can put an Exxon on the moon and not have to bring up the rocket fuel? We can actually make it on the moon? That's exactly what I'm telling you. And they know this. It's a fact. They also have water, another component they need to make oxygen. Because we've made this cool technological discovery 6,000 meters under the sea. I did a couple reports on it. It's a cobalt, zinc, and some other mineral combined together with a little wormhole through it. Creates naturally, when you bring those minerals together, I think creates 1.2 volts. But with the little wormhole that they have through, naturally designed by pressure, whatever, we're still figuring out. We don't know how the hell they did it. But when you bring these three minerals together with a certain little hole through the center of them, it increases their voltage from 1.2 to 1.3. You know what 1.3 volt or 1.8 volts separates oxygen and hydrogen in water? Now, given these things are 6,000 meters under the water, So that means they are creating oxygen and hydrogen underwater. So now we know if the moon has water, we can create oxygen if we just bring these rocks. So we no longer need these big special machines that are oxygen creators and all this other crap that we thought we'd need because of a new discovery that we discovered at the bottom of the ocean. And oh, by the way, for economic value and gain, America just consumed that part of the ocean in the largest land grab since, well, last large land grab, which wasn't this century or last century. Size of 2 Texases. I did a report on it. After we did that land grab, we discovered this new technology coming, or not, excuse me, not new technology, this new wonder of science called, what do you mean photosynthesis isn't the only way to create oxygen? Yes, exactly. That's the new discovery we made. It revolutionizes everything. Everything changes now. We got to look at everything differently, re-examine all kinds of shit. Because when I was in 7th grade, Miss Brown guaranteed me, I'd remember this when I was an old man. Photosynthesis is created through chloroform and light in the plant's leaves, taking carbon and turning it into oxygen through photosynthesis and chlorophyll.
Hey, Neil.
It's no longer factual. That science is wrong. Yes, sir.
I just wanted to say, like, I'm in the camp of when I see a nice steakhouse, like the one I just shared the screen on, then I'm willing to go check it out.
Okay. Were you promoting that as a steakhouse? I don't understand.
No. Like originally, I was going to say when I see a McDonald's on the moon, then I'll consider going.
Okay.
So now what I'm saying is actually McDonald's wouldn't be enough to entice you. It'd have to be a nice steakhouse.
Okay, I understand now. I was totally lost. No, we aren't going to have that for a good 100 years. But we are going to have people on the moon, and it will take a good 100 years to advance and to build it, because you're going to have to build a whole freaking infrastructure to house and develop a town or a settlement or whatever it is.
Big time.
And that's going to take decades.
Hundreds of years, man. Hundreds.
Yeah, well, we might have a settlement that countries pay to have their people go to for whatever reasons, settlement by 2021-ish, somewhere around there. But as far as a citizen traveling to a settlement to live, nah, man, I don't know, 2150, 2200 maybe. I mean, that's the ways off. It's not like it's going to happen overnight, but this is the genesis of it's happening in our lifetime.
79 is funny. Are you still going live for a bit?
A little while, as long as 79 is entertaining.
Okay, I was going to take a quick break.
Go ahead and go pee.
5 minutes. Okay.
Don't make yellow snow though, because we'll know what it is. Pee out of camera.
Don't eat the yellow snow.
or write your name in. One thing ladies can't do is pee your name in the snow. Anyone else want to hop up here? Actually, 79. There's 2 theories. Some people say it's the moon's a spaceship, whatever. If it's not a spaceship, though, I guarantee you there's platinum and osmium on the moon, because the way any asteroid starts or any actual planet starts is a conglomeration of the heavier atoms and materials out in space. They can join and congeal together, and then they create a little gravitational pull after that. And those base minerals at the heart of most every asteroid out there are your platinum group metals, iron, and some of the heavier metals are at the core of every asteroid out there. And then, throughout the asteroid, they'll be added, but the base core of it, the start of every asteroid, is the heavier metals of platinum group metals and iron, which means osmium would be in there. So yes, there is osmium. The moon is full of osmium. Yes, that is actually more correct than you think. And yet we have a flag on the moon. So somebody wanted to go there. That's cool. You guys can agree all you want. Lemon snow cones. That's it. $1 snow cone. Or bring a 6-pack. You bring a 6-pack, you get snow cones quicker. Like I said, last time we went to the moon, we dedicated a lot of money to it. We have never since then came close to dedicating even 5% of that money to NASA to be able to make it there. So the argument of we haven't gone back is null and void once you know that economic fact. That is just a fact. They don't have the money to do it. We have, as a matter of fact, every president, Clinton, Obama, I can clearly remember them giving speeches saying, we're cutting NASA's spending. They're spending too much, keeping us from any possibility of making it back there. They got it in the base, the storage unit of their lunar module. Kind of like if you buy the $2 million RV and you pull out the Lamborghini out of the back in your storage, in your what they're now calling a mobile garage. Kind of sort of the same way. Or hold on, here's another one, 79. How did Elon Musk get a Tesla out in space? Oh, that didn't happen either? Huh, interesting. We can get a Tesla out in space, but we can't get a freaking one to the moon. Okay, I don't see your logic, but I agree with you on half your point. Yes, Tesla did put a car up in space. But no, we are not good enough to put a car into space. Kind of sounds anti-intuitive or counterintuitive, huh? Elon can put a car into space, but NASA can't. ACT, I got a question for you. How are we getting film from Mars without having a human cameraman on Mars? Hey, that poop got you, didn't I? Bet you guys jumped in your chair. I know I did. That's called cameras. They don't need humans to operate. We have cameras on Mars. Hey, I got pictures of Neptune, but we don't never have ever has one reporter or cameraman been to Neptune. But I can show you pictures of Neptune. How did we get those pictures of Neptune if we haven't been to Neptune? Obviously, we've been to Neptune, but no human has. So the clarification of how did they get those pictures? Well, the same way they get the pictures of Mars. Little robot-y thingy, little disky thingy back then, had a more primitive camera thingy, and it took pictures and sent them back to Earth. I would imagine, but that's just me. Come up here and tell me how you think they did it. You're welcome to come up. Tom, I've got an interesting question. Why not make the same? Okay, why not make the same rockets? Okay, we could if we paid enough money to build it. But there's so much better rockets. There's so much better rockets now. All they need is the money. And you can physically do a search and look at how many times Americans have cut the budget of NASA since we went to the moon. And you can do research and see. As a matter of fact, I believe I did a video on this. As a matter of fact, I'm sure I did a video on this for the same reason. Some flat earther came and told me something. I was like, okay, let's look at the economics. Either certain people in America back in the 60s stole billions of dollars of the American taxpayer, shoved it up their ass and went somewhere, or America spent 5%, 4% of their GDP to get us to the moon. When in history have we spent 4% of our GDP to get back to the moon? $20 billion is not but 1/10 of 1% of 1%. So to get 4%, they need about $400 billion. When have they had $400 billion to repeat what they did then? Because $80 billion back then is now $400 billion now because of, inflation. And we don't want to spend the money. So as soon as we spend the money, I guarantee you, we will be back on the moon. I guarantee it. All we got to do is get people to convince that, it takes money. You can't do it for free. And we'll show you the history books. We'll show you the expenses. Let's repeat it, and then we can repeat it. But as long as you vote to take money away from NASA, we're never going to get back to the moon. I agree. We're never going to get there as long as people vote to cut the budget. And as long as people don't understand, it takes money. And to the last time you check, see it, prove me wrong, do the research and tell me I'm a liar. It took 4% of the GDP of America to get us to the moon. And as you do that research, find out when, if ever, we put that much money to going back to the moon. Because I already know the answer. I would love for you to prove me wrong by doing the research to prove me wrong. Because in doing the research to prove me wrong, you'll find out I'm right. And I would rather you find out on your own that I'm right. That's why I'm saying do your own research. I'm just telling you where to look and what to look for. So that way you'll know when you see it. How much money did NASA spend to get to the moon? Here's a Google search for you. I'll even make it easy for you. What percentage of GDP did it cost America to go to the moon in 1967 or 8 or 9, whenever we went there? And then ask Google, how much percentage of GDP do we spend now on NASA getting to the moon? And when you see those numbers, your brain will explode and you'll say, holy cow. So basically what I want a Lamborghini for $2. Yes, you want a Lamborghini for $2 and you want the fucking what is it? The warranty. You want the warranty for $2 too, for a $2 million car, but you want it for $2. And then you'll see where your misguided thinking on why we've never made it back to the moon is. It's economics. We haven't spent the money to go back to the moon. Matter of fact, we've done the exact opposite. Again, President Carter, I'm not sure if Bush did. He might have. But I know President Clinton and Obama cut the NASA budget and it never got replaced. So I know they've had 2 cuts in my lifetime. I've never heard of them getting extra money to go back to the moon. Well, that's called greedy politicians that have actually control of our lives, or more importantly, our money. And they don't listen to us on how to spend it because someone paid them off on a scheme to bribery. And they probably gave them a good-looking young girl and said, hey, we got this on film. You either do what we tell you or we're going to release it. And America gets sold out and we get blamed for everything. But yeah, okay. It's called corruption. I mean, everyone knows America's one of the, not the most, but we are very corrupt. And I mean, look at USAID. USAID. And look at where all that money went. Do you think you or I voted for that? Do you think any of that was in America's interest? Because it was our tax dollars. Our paychecks go to that. Yeah, that's a good question to ask if you're going to, take someone's money. Hey, what are we getting out of it? Oh, well, we're spending money on kids in Ecuador going to trans festivals. Oh, well, that's a good use of that. Wasting another $50 million in the Congo to promote transsexualism. Holy cow, that's the base values of our country. Let's keep doing that. No, because I know none of us voted for that either. So we actually haven't been in control of our spending for pretty much our lifetimes. So, reason why we haven't got anything done. We haven't been in charge to be able to get anything done. Yeah, we need to talk to him about that, Mike. Let's see what you're talking about. When he comes back in, we'll tell him he missed it.
I missed what? I missed the spot.
Yeah, you missed the spot. You need to go back out there. It's there at the bottom left. You need to landscape that and slope it a little better. So that way when the squirrels break out their skis, they got a good downhill going.
There's good paths throughout the backyard there, but this one's a relatively fresh one I'm working on.
79. Hold on, I've got to answer this, James. I'm sorry. Okay. Who videotaped the moon landing? Again, I'll make this very easy. Let's as a matter of fact, I'm going to see. I'm on Google. Videos of Mars landscape, because we know there's no humans there. Hold on, wait, whoa, hold on. Woo, yeah. Sorry, I'm joyful. I'm watching the show here. It's a video of us on Mars, 79. Oh my God. Have we made it to Mars yet? I don't remember making it to Mars. This is revolutionary. We've got videos of Mars. We've not made it there yet. Holy cow. Here, I'm going to share this so that way you don't think I'm lying. We have video of us on Mars. Holy cow. I wonder if guy from CBS is the one who did that. You think someone from CBS went to Mars and did that for us? I think it might have been CBS here. And yes, I am being an asshole about it because it's a very simplistic question. How the hell, if there was no human involved, did we get this? With no human.
The images in this video are all real.
And there's no
Taken
human.
by NASA's Mars rover directly from the surface of the planet.
For the eyes of the world,
No humans.
now
No
look into
humans.
space
79, not one human.
and to the planets beyond.
This is Mars in 4K. So sit back, relax, and enjoy this journey across the surface of another world.
And hey, if you think it's
The team at NASA has given Mars informal place names, which you will see on the screen in the bottom left
exact spot
corner.
on Earth that this has happened.
4 different rover missions have contributed to this incredible footage.
Neil, pause the video for a second. Neil.
Curiosity and perseverance. The latter two
What was that, Jam?
So pause the video for a second because the audio on this end, the video is way overpowering you. So I'd say,
Oh God, yeah, it's on high. Okay,
yeah,
that's
turn it down, but it'll probably be
Well,
bad.
I want to get the. This isn't really. What I wanted to show was the helicopter without a pilot that we landed on Mars that takes videos as well. And
Yeah.
there's actually evidence of that because there's this thing called science, and there's this new technologies being developed that we're going to be using on our next generation of attack helicopters that we learned from the Mars helicopter and the aerodynamics of the double blades swinging in different directions. And there was a whole new type of math we gained from that that's going to evolve our helicopter technology for our military pilots within the next 10 years. But it's all fake. But our guys are going to be learning how, but I can't find that video right now because I clicked on this one. Hold on. I want specifically the helicopter.
Trust the science, right?
Well, yeah. Well, trust the source too, baby. We'll give this up because I'm wasting too much time. You've seen it. Yes, you trust the science, but I told you to trust the science. So do you trust me? So it's not just the science you got to trust. You got to trust the source that's giving you the science. That's why I showed a video. Unlike Dr. Fauci, I showed a video. What I was saying. See, Dr. Fauci just showed you a bunch of bullshit. So you shouldn't have trusted the science because there was also other scientists out there saying the exact opposite and getting censored and muted and kicked off of X and YouTube for saying the exact opposite. I actually got a couple strikes for saying the exact opposite of what the science said because the source was incorrect. The proper source was muted. So again, you got to know the full scene before you just throw the liberal one-liner out there. Well, what about nuclear? Well, okay, we're going to die because we have nukes. We're all dead. Let's just go outside naked and jump in the snow and freeze because we have nukes and we're all going to kill ourselves. If that's how you perceive life, we're not going to evolve too much. Not that far above the monkey. So we have a ways to go with our thought process. Logic has to kick in at some point in time. Conspiracies are great, but you have to have some evidence of them. Just to say something's not true is no evidence. Just to give a picture of something that's nondescript about your supposed proof is not evidence. If you've got several news stations around the world, if there's a worldwide conspiracy going on to make us think we landed on the moon so that people would say we didn't, well, they've done a damn good job and they spend a lot of money doing it. And, well, hell, there's absolutely no reason for them to have done it. So then you got to go into the logic of why would someone spend so much money to convince you of something that didn't happen, that is of no relevant or importance? Wow. Okay, now it's starting to sound stupider than hellfire, isn't it? I think it is. But hey, let's go down that rabbit hole. Let's just make sure to bring common sense with us and some logic. That's all I'm saying. And if you do, it's going to be a rabbit hole, because all it's going to be is a bunch of bullshit shoved at you, because you get no validation. There's no 10 scientists out there that have given scientific reports that have been peer reviewed. There's none of that shit. There's just YouTube talk and people saying. But where's the papers? Did you know the word hold on, wait, what's that? Gain of function. Do you know the actual definition according to the government of the word gain of function?
Weaponize.
That's right. But it's not in the dictionary, but that's the government's version. So when they talk to you, it's like double talk, because the words they're using aren't the words as you know them to mean. And then you can trust the science knowing that. But if it's coming from the government, if you know that, you know not to trust them, because their words aren't the same as what we use, and it's legal. So now you got to look at the congressional library and see what their definitions of words are and how many they've changed. And then you look at Hillary Clinton and you say, well, now it makes sense why she said, or excuse me, both told her, the builder ones that said it, but Hillary told her, well, it all depends on your definition of the meaning of the word is. Because according to the legal definition in Congress, at that point in time, we had no legal definition for the definition of is. So he had a legal out from prosecution, and he distorted our whole legal system. That's why since that point till now, we've really accelerated on the downhill slope legally, because of all the bullshit. That's how you get all this crap shit spending. It's not voted on because they were able to change definitions. Now a vote isn't a vote. It's a meaningless thing to distract you because of their changing of definitions. And that's what's being straightened out right now, amongst other things. That's why they say the weaponization happened in the judicial branch. I just explained to you how the weaponization happened. Now, if you don't have the concept of what I'm talking about, then you don't understand what this regime that we have in power now is trying to unwind. And you don't understand how much slaves every American actually is right now. Because we are literally economic slaves to the government. And it sucks ass.
See, and I agree with you, but I would have said it's to the central banks more.
Well, that's the Federal Reserve, man, and our government gave control of the monetary system to them. So it's one and the same at this point.
Yep. Yeah, you got to get rid of the central banks, or you're signed up for financial enslavement.
Yeah,
or debt.
It is what it is.
Debt enslavement.
We are slaves.
But that's one of the things I love about America, is it is one of those countries. It's probably got the highest potential in the world for the rags to riches story, right?
Yep.
And actually getting over top of generational poverty.
Yep.
Right? Generational poverty is much more likely to happen in other countries per capita, in my opinion.
Well, 100%, and that's it happens. It can happen less here in the West if you have people step up and try and teach people about the cycles. Again, I don't hate that I'm promoting my buddy, but I don't like promoting anybody on my channel. But that's exactly what Economic Ninja's doing. He's teaching people and he's 100% correct. This is the first time in our lifetimes that we can take advantage of a multiple cycle tsunami of different asset classes. And if you understand the cycles, you can take a little bit of money at the start of one of the cycles, pull your profit towards the top, not at the actual top, towards the top, take that extra profit, throw it to the next cycle that's already started, do the same thing, and then throw it into the third cycle. And you can oh my God, the potential right now, and Trump even says that we're entering the golden age. For the people that see this, they understand. I see it. I understand. Travis sees it. He understands. There's lots of cycles rolling through right now. And this, the gold and silver, it's every 45, 40, 50 years. Next time we're going to see a bull run, well, most of us will be dead because it's not going to happen again for another 40 to 50 years. Now, the cycle of the housing happens every 7 years. We have a unique asset class called digital currency now, or cryptocurrency now. So that's a unique one in lifetime asset class that's also involved in these cycles. And all three of them have to line up. That's not going to happen again for another 45, 50 years. This truly is a one in a lifetime opportunity to make crap loads of money. And it's also going to be hard. Why you need to start making that money now?
Easy to make it, tough to hang on to it.
Well, you're going to have to spend a lot of it with the bad times that are going to be coming. But if you have the money, you'll have it to spend. So it makes bad times not as bad now, huh? Everything's better with money. And if it's not better with money, well, then you have a good attitude. That helps too.
Yeah, you're welcome, Blue Butterfly. I just dropped the link there for Economic Ninja.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Travis.
Yeah, no, he's got some good shit. He's got some real good shit. As a matter of fact,
He's a great American entrepreneur.
It is very, very entrepreneurship. See, the thing about entrepreneurship, though, is you have different types of entrepreneurs. Some people just take advantage. Some people take advantage by giving advantage. And a lot of people don't understand how that one works. And how that one works is you can only make a lot of money if other people start making money off of what you're saying. And that business strategy, if you can nail it, yeah, you got a winner. And you can only nail it if other people are making money off of what you're saying. And people have been making money off of what he's been saying.
Yep.
A lot of money.
I've not taken any of his courses.
You don't have to take his courses. I haven't either. He gives sign up on X. He gives away.
I'm only on YouTube. YouTube is the only platform I'm on.
Yeah, you don't have to do any of that stuff. He gives enough information where you can just take a casual investment of $10 where you don't really have to pay too much attention to it, but do pay attention. But just you don't have to like sweat over it every 5 minutes looking at it, kind of shit. But pay attention daily, just see what it's doing.
It's disposable. It's a good test. It's a good test number. Yeah, a lot of people say even $100.
It's a way to get a feel for what the possibilities are, depending on your interest level in those possibilities and what your time investment in learning more could be worth to you personally on that particular asset class. That's all it is. Mm-hmm. It's there's learning curves to all the new asset classes, but when people are grabbing your hand and walking you through, it's a lot easier.
I took some real estate courses and some commercial finance courses, but not crypto. I'm still relatively ignorant to crypto.
It's not really. It's different, but it's not different. It's different in the fact that it's new and all that, but it's not different as it also goes through cycles. Its cycles are every 4 years.
Fast evolving. I know that something like more than 95% of the cryptos that have been created have already failed.
Oh yeah, no, that's I was a moderator for Crypto Show last halving. Yep. People call me goat and shit because I did a lot of research on the stuff. Found out a lot of information. Then they kicked me out because it all led me to silver and platinum. But anyhow, that's another story. And I found out a lot about the crypto stuff. And back last halving, there was like 9,300 crypto before the halving, and after the halving, there's only like 300. And these aren't exact numbers; they're approximate. This time, but we're going through the halving right now. Before the halving, there was 10,300 crypto, and at the end of the year, there'll probably only be 300. So your statistics are fairly accurate. But what I've been looking at for the BTC part of that run is last halving, they didn't retrace 90% from their high to the new starting point to retrace and do it all over again. They were for the 2 cycles before that. They retraced 90% because they're too volatile. Last cycle, they only retraced 70% off of its high. So what I'm looking for on this cycle, whatever their high is, it should retrace about 50%. So whatever its high is, it should fall half of that. I'm looking for that as a new bottom for it. And if it still follows that pattern, I'll be more interested in it.
79 saying like that there's possibly millions of different cryptos. I
I
believe
don't know. I do know St. Petersburg and one other town in Russia. Russia already designated as their digital currency central networks for the BRICS countries. So I don't know what they're doing, what they're providing as far as a crypto. I have not looked in their market. I know it's a new market, and I'm sure there's new cryptos. I do know the World's Bank and IMF, International Monetary Fund, for the past 5 years have been working to digitize Russia's whole economy. I found that very interesting, and no one talks about, but it was very interesting. And that's where Gerald will come in. He'll tell you, I'm not even looking at the chat now. I know he's getting excited. And that's where Gerald will probably tell you, yep, digital's coming. Oh, there's under 10,000? I thought it was 10,300 this time. Look, JM's trying to freeze that dog so he can make jerky out of him. Run, puppy, run! Cold! Save yourself from that monster. He's trying to... What's up, Zardos? I'm making fun of JM right now. Is he trying to freeze you, little puppy? Good thing you got your winter coat on. You need some boots. But those paws are froze. Actually, it doesn't look like the cold's hurting him at all. What'll hurt him is if he leaves the path and gets lost in the snowbank. True that, Gerald.
Were you able to see the nice little dog?
Yeah, I was telling him to run, get inside, and then I was like, hold on, he's got on his winter coat.
Right on. Yeah, I got to readjust that camera.
Fluffy. Fluffy the puppy. It doesn't seem dark up there. Actually seems like it's daytime out there, actually. Anyone want to come up on the stream? Have anything you want to chit-chat about?
Yeah, join the panel, guys. Quick thing.
Real. I'm going to put some milk in my tea. I'll be right back.
Right on. Under 10,000 crypto projects. Yeah, and I think that's got to include like all the meme coins and all that. It's funny, my buddy just called me the other day. I hadn't heard from him in a while, so he's updating me on what he's up to. And then he says, oh yeah, and JM, I created my own cryptocurrency. So he's got his own meme coin now. To me, it just kind of goes to show you like almost everyone's into it now. Or a good chunk of people are anyway. Yeah, it's 12:05 in the morning here.
9:05 California time. luckily, I guess that would put it 5 o'clock Steve Hilera's time. 5 in the afternoon in Hawaii.
Yeah, I think that's right.
And in Scotland, it would be 5 in the morning.
Have a good night, Gerald. Have a great week.
Yeah, have a good week, Gerald. Talk to you later. Thanks again. What did I do? I blame JM. He was up here too. Pass the buck, Neil. Pass the buck.
It's a good place to bounce ideas off of each other, stay current on what's going on, have a little bit of entertainment at the same time.
Whatever people want to talk about, I'm more than interested to talk about. Because ideally, come up on panel, but say something in chat. I got a little bit of knowledge about a lot of things. I don't have hardly, well, I do have in-depth knowledge on a lot of things, just not a lot of things people are interested in. I have a little bit of knowledge in a lot of things people are interested in. I guess that's a better way to state it. Hey, thanks, brother Tom.
Yeah, it was good to chat with you.
It was awfully cool to have you up here, brother. Maybe we can talk to some of these other people someday to come up here.
And you know what? I got to say, I wouldn't be surprised if Johnny Cash's song, One Piece at a Time, would be a song that Tom would quite enjoy.
Yeah, I'm not going to play it because unlike you, I don't want my shit turned off.
I know. But that is, are you familiar with that one, Neil?
Yeah, my dad was a big Johnny Cash fan.
Great tune. When Tom was telling us about working there in the auto industry, I kind of got a little bit of a flashback of that song. Right on, Tom. I think it would be a song I'd be singing in the frickin' lunchroom. Unless I was told not to.
I'm sure if 9 was around, you'd be told not to. Speaking of which, you should watch that movie Caveman. It's really good.
Yeah, it's on my list.
I
think if you get it 79, I think if you get it one piece at a time, then you can get the title for each individual part, and it's not really theft. But I don't know. This is not financial advice.
As she's already stated, it's entertaining. So obviously it's not financial. I've never heard financial advice be entertaining. Well, actually, yeah, but you usually don't hear financial advice entertainingly. Unless you're a politician.
Yeah, I've probably got to sign off in about half an hour here.
Yeah, it sounds about a good time to end it. I've been gone for 3 hours. Yeah, longer than Gilligan in his 3-hour tour.
I still can't believe they got me for that, playing Whitney Houston singing Star Spangled Banner.
No, I do not have Starlink for sale. I don't even have Starlink. Yeah, that copyright. I'm sure her family's trying to get all the money they can off her name.
I've seen that Starlink, the whole group of them that go by. There's like 40 or 50 of them.
Oh, yeah. It looks like a freaking train in the sky. Like
Yeah.
you could convince a young kid, hey, look, here's Santa's reindeer.
Right. I've seen them go by here twice. But that's it. And Both times were a couple of years ago. I have not seen them recently. But I'm not really staring at the sky as much as I used to.
That's one thing I'm going to be looking forward to doing over the next couple of years. You got that right, girl.
I did not know that.
Oh, yeah. I think she died of a drug overdose. There's different stories protecting her storyline, so I'm sure it doesn't state that. It might state it in the autopsy.
That's sad. It's very sad.
Fame seems to that sin seems to go with fame.
Sure does.
Right. Elvis Presley. You know.
Yeah, I was just gonna say Johnny Cash. Like they're all in the uppers, and then mainly uppers, and then at some point they hit the downers, and then they're in a freaking whirlwind.
Yep, they're in a cycle, and then they die because they're fucking all the drugs. A hell of a lot went that way.
Still do.
Yeah. Shit, what's his name? Kurt Cobain.
Same thing.
Nah, I think he shot his shell. I think he blew his head off. But it was through drugs and the depression spout. I could be wrong. It might have been someone else who did that. One of those famous guys did that. Ex-wife was rapping him or some shit. Courtney something, not Courtney. What the hell was her name?
I think it was.
She took him to court several times. About child support or something.
Yeah, I thought it was Courtney Cox, wasn't it?
I thought it was Courtney Cox too, but when I was saying it, something sounded wrong about it, so I quit saying it.
It's Courtney Love. Courtney Love.
Okay, yeah, there you go. Hell, I
Weird.
miss Jim Croce. He killed himself. I think one song you might know of his is Time in a Bottle.
Oh, yeah.
I think that was Jim Croce. I would delete that C4. Everything is recorded, brother. But Aztec, well, I got you one better. My cousin's dead now for obvious reasons, which you will hear. He was, I liked him. He was my favorite cousin, actually. No one else liked him. But then again, no one else liked me either. So maybe that's why I liked him. But at about 17 or 18, he got hooked up with the wrong crowd and ended up becoming what's known as the chemist. Back in the 80s, 90s, the Hells Angels had these guys that manufactured the best of the best drugs. And my cousin became one of those guys. Of course, he died shortly thereafter, but
it's tough to get a big insurance policy after you've signed up for that sort of thing.
Insurance policy.
So I don't know from personal experience. I heard that.
Well, I know from personal experience. He got caught. He was going to see my Nana, my grandma, my dad's mom, my Nana. She lived in Jonesboro, Louisiana. And so he went down there. His name was Robbie. Robert Hess, actually. Yeah, it's funny. It's Rudolf Hess in German. So he went down there, and he was gone for one day. And the cops came, picked him up next day. Apparently, he had gone to New Orleans and broke into 4 hospitals, into their pharmaceutical departments to get the drugs to manufacture. What was he making? Angel dust. He was making angel dust. Is what he was making. And the state grabbed him, and they made a deal with him, saying, "Hey, we're going to let you go scot-free. We don't want you in our prisons because you'll make drugs in our prisons." So you just sign this paper stating that you'll never enter into our airspace or land space for the rest of your life, and we'll let you go. So he signed the paperwork. They let him go. Bad thing is, when my grandma died, my nana died. He obviously wasn't at the funeral because she lived in Louisiana, so he didn't make it to her funeral, and he died shortly thereafter. But I got a second cousin named David Hahn. When he was an Eagle Scout, he started to build, I don't think he finished, a type of nuclear reactor in his backyard. The federal government stopped him.
There you go.
So I have my family on the Hahn side has a knack of being good with chemistry and physics and math.
I kind of thought they would have maybe tried to recruit the former one you were talking about.
The druggie?
Yeah.
Nah, it's
Like,
easy.
like Breaking Bad or
It's easy to make the drug if you have the chemicals. The government can make fucking angel dust left, right, and center. They got all the right chemicals. Problem was they made those chemicals hard to get a hold of, and that makes the street chemist highly sought after in the underground, but also highly sought after by the feds because they're a high threat level.
Yeah.
So I have a very interesting family.
sounds like it.
Yeah, I'm the one who hasn't done much. I'm the boring one of the family. Family tree doesn't do much on my name, comparatively. Well, that's what you get with the family motto of Saint Pierre. You get a bunch of crazy fucking white boys doing all kinds of crazy shit.
And I agree with C4. I think at least the vast majority of people, it's going to catch up with them quick.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Catch
No,
up with them eventually, at least.
frequency, vibration, and energy, bro. If you get too much on one of the frequencies or energies, it's going to zap your ass. You got to stay within a certain balance. The closer to the balance, the easier life gets. In my opinion.
Yep. I think it's a little bit, it's good to be a little bit on the alkaline side as opposed to the acidic side.
Well, until we get more into metabolic researching, which thank God they started.
Oh, you noticed I threw that in there, did you?
Yeah. There's a lot to that science, man. That medicine, medical science.
I've only skimmed the surface of it, but definitely.
It's a new science looking at it from the scientific perspective. If you look at the Dr. Max Gerstwin and the way he cured people of cancers, and he actually cured people of cancers, he did it more on a food base, which would actually be more of a changing the metabolism from either an alkaline base to a neutral, or from a neutral base to an alkaline base, because that's what foods can do for you.
Yep.
If he was curing people by foods, then basically what he was doing is either telling you to drink apple cider vinegar every day, or fucking take a teaspoon of what do you call that, baking soda, an alkaline system or a high acid system. I think cancer lives in a high acid and can't stand alkaline, I believe, or it could be vice versa. I don't recall.
Nope, you got that right, and also oxygen.
Yeah. Well, your blood carries that. So if it likes a high acidic rate, and you have fucking cancer, take a teaspoon or two of freaking baking soda, put it in some water, swish it around, start drinking it, and lower your pH. Fight that shit. God did say He gave us everything we needed on this planet to take care of us. Yeah. We're the stupid fuckers that trust science.
And even a lot of the times, some of, I think that sort of thing is not necessarily a remedy, but it can definitely help promote.
By no means is it a fucking cure. By no means.
But it can give you a real.
If your body has the best advantage to take care of itself, it'll take care of itself.
Exactly.
That's what I am saying. So if you have a highly acidic pH and you have a cancer, lower your pH and give your body the best chance to fight it off, because it can. And what I would
Raise-
also suggest
You want to
is,
raise the pH.
or vice versa. I'm sorry,
That's okay. You got it.
Yeah, the principles of what I'm saying. I'm just saying it backwards. And your body can take care of itself. Just give it every advantage. So all you're doing is giving your body an advantage by helping it out, by changing your pH to help it out, help your body take care of itself. Because trust me, you don't know shit about your body. No one does. We're still finding shit out about our bodies and what they can do. I mean, they can reproduce. We're looking at the reason why. Here, check this out. I'll prove it. Okay, children, was it pre-age, like 2 months, 3 months, can lose a tip of a finger.
Yeah.
And they'll still regenerate it.
If your pH is high, then you're not acidic. That means you're more alkaline, which I think is like good within reason. You want to be a little bit on the high side of pH. pH stands for potential hydrogen. Yeah, first the left eye twitches, I think.
I don't know if my pH is high, but I know I am, so it has to be high because it's coming along for the ride.
Yeah, most of like tap water, even if you have a good filter, the pH on it's pretty low.
I use the reverse osmosis machine, and I add Himalayan pink salt to the water after I reverse osmosis it.
There you go.
Add the minerals and vitamins and shit that I want in the water.
I think that's
I don't
good.
know what it does for the pH, but I'm sure it does something. Sure it does something, not sure what. Right on. C4. Yeah, you have those friends every now and then. Luckily, they're less now and more then in the long run.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I am actually surprised I'm still intact. Not from anything recently, but when you're younger, when you're in your late teens, 20s, 30s, and you feel completely invincible,
Oh, yeah.
it's a different story.
Know all about that, baby. Back in, matter of fact, let me see if I can't do this. Let's see, Google Maps. All right, where are we at here? North Carolina. Where's Charlotte?
I've been to Charlotte, North Carolina.
Where the hell is it? I see Raleigh, Ashboro, Salisbury, Fayetteville. Charlotte. There it is. Charlotte.
It's actually a nice city.
I'm trying to find Second and Tryon. Let's see. It was downtown, but I really don't know what the fuck downtown looked like because I didn't have a car. Partner was driving back then.
And actually, when I was in Charlotte, on the way back, we got dumped with a wicked snowstorm between Charlotte and Buffalo, New York. It was really neat to go from such warm weather to Buffalo, New York weather.
Oh, that's why I couldn't find it. It's over here. Tryon. Okay, so where's 2nd Street? I'm using Google Maps right now trying to find this one building to show you how crazy it was.
So long as you know you're not sharing the screen at this time.
I do know that.
Okay. All good.
Okay, where would that be at? That's Tryon. Damn it. Yeah, can't find it. Oh well. There was a building in Charlotte, downtown Charlotte, North Carolina, 5 blocks down the street from their 62-story building they have now. I hope they still have it. Actually, it's not been that long. It was 1993. So however old I was back then, 25, 26, something like that. Maybe 24, I don't know. It's a 12-story building. If you can imagine, you have an idea of what an I-beam looks like.
That's a big iron support beam.
Yeah, it's like a column, basically, that all the other iron attaches to. Well, back then, the safety rules were different, and all the floors weren't decked or concreted or any of this stuff. So we had 12 floors of straight iron. We were between working the 10th and 12th floor. We already had the I-beams up, just not everything attached. Me and my partner were, smoking my prototype, tossing it back and forth to each other in between picks. And I dropped it on the outside of the building. We're on the 11th floor. So I looked at him. I was like, "Dude, you take this next tree. I'm gonna climb down and get it, pick it up, and come back."
What was it that you were passing back and forth?
My prototype, my weed pipe.
Ooh,
The one I take to work. It's a steel one, so that way it doesn't break in case it falls. And we were working weekends, so it was overtime. So it wasn't that many people on the job. So I didn't want anyone to see that one of the connectors, actually the lead connector, left connecting just to get a marijuana pipe he dropped, right? So I climbed down the outside of the building on that I-beam, down 11 floors on the outside of the building, climbed down, no safety, just my hands and feet, climbed down, grabbed my prototype, took a hit, make sure it still worked, and climbed it back up. And I did it within 5 minutes. No climbing gear, no nothing. Just climbed straight up the side of the fucking building.
Talk about cardio. Cardio in action.
Well, you said be crazy. That's just one of the crazy things I did when I was younger.
Do you kind of wish that you would have had a GoPro or some nice video footage of you doing some of that stuff?
Oh, dude, man. Yeah. No, that's not even some of the crazy shit, bro. Me and my partner Paul used to race on the I-beam to the edge of the building. Again, there was no safety, and running across an I-beam, not a header, but the intermediates at 30 foot, they shake in the middle. They can move up to a foot in either direction, which means there's a two foot give on their like wobble. Even if they're bolted up, they'll still wobble, right? So if you run properly on it and you push off properly, it won't happen. But if you don't do it properly, it starts swaying back and forth. It makes you have what they call a coon the iron, which means you have to drop down to the lower edge of the I-beam and grab the iron so you don't fall. Well, me and my partner used to race to the edge of the building right before lunchtime, and the last one to the edge of the building paid for lunch. And I never bought lunch.
There you go. That says a lot. Oh, here. Blue Butterfly, hello on camera. Now that we said hello in chat as well. Good to see everyone.
Oh, man. There's some crazy shit I did as a kid. Matter of fact, that caused back in Pensacola, Florida, back in 92, the end of 92, beginning of 93, when we were building the military base down there on Pensacola, on NAS Pensacola. The Navy had a safety guy. We didn't have harnesses back then. They weren't even invented. So they made us tie off with like a freaking 3/4 inch rope to the back of our D-ring, in the back of our tool belt, right?
Yep.
So I was up about three and a half floors. We're doing the roofing system of the barracks. And I saw the Navy safety guy driving around a golf cart. And down there, everything's sand. So when you put in your manhole for infrastructure, for water drainage and whatnot, and the big manhole covers that you see on top of the street, well,
Yep.
they actually go down like 10 or so foot to the main pipe, right? Well, down in Florida, you actually have to dig at about a 45 because it's sand. You can't get any straight edges because it's not, the soil's not formed like that. It's sand. So you have to like volcano shape it out, and to get down, you keep the sand away from the piece. And I saw the Navy guy driving his little go-kart, safety guy. And he was always on me because I wasn't tied off ever. And my partner was with me, another guy. I didn't have Paul at that time. And I said, watch, I'm going to cause this motherfucker to run into that hole, and he's going to hit that manhole cover, and he's going to get shipped out of here. We're going to get a new safety guy. How are you going to do that? So I took the rope that was supposed to have been tied up behind me, and I held it up in there, and I hollered out, "Hey, Navy safety guy," because I knew the psychology of humans. When you look up and to the right, if you're not really good at driving naturally, innately,
You're going to turn to the right.
your body goes in the opposite direction. And it happened exactly like that at the right time, to where that go-kart, when he looked up to the right to see me not tied off, it went a little bit to the left, and it started hitting that downgrade to that manhole cover. And because it's sand, and he was only on a go-kart, he had absolutely zero traction to get the fuck
Sucked
out.
him in.
He just started sliding straight the fuck into that thing, ruined the go-kart. He probably ended up with like some minor injuries, but we never saw him again. That's how I got rid of a Navy. I think he was a lieutenant, not sure. Commander, I think was his rank, not sure.
That's weird that he'd be cruising around in a go-kart. That's
Oh, it was a big site,
about
dude.
that story.
Oh no, you don't understand. It was a huge job site. It was
But
to
like, I'm
walk.
thinking, why not a four-wheeler or a little Jeep?
Oh, okay, yeah.
or a Ranger or
Bad
something.
choice of vehicles for him, for sure.
Yeah.
But that was the Navy. They're very inefficient, believe it or not. They get a lot done, but they can do a lot better.
Sounds thrift. Like to me, it sounds thrifty, right?
It was stupid. They had Jeeps. Fuck, they have surplus fucking warehouse on that fucking base. They have more than enough Jeeps. He just chose to give him a fucking golf cart. Probably because they had it covered. He probably did ask for it specifically, being he was a jerk. Because I lived in Pensacola, I knew most of those guys, and he was a jerk. They come in for 4 years, get shipped in there into command for 4 years and leave. Some of them have Ivy League complexes. Some of them are real cool dudes. He had an Ivy League complex.
Now, if it was a souped-up go-kart, that would be different. You know what I mean? Like those 50 or 100 horsepower go-karts.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think it was anything like that. It was just, I saw it. Probably the same type of go-karts they had on their golf course out there. He just probably grabbed one. Got some authorization.
Okay, so it was more like a golf cart then.
Yeah, golf cart. I'm sorry. What was
Okay.
it?
I thought you said go-kart.
No. Golf cart.
Okay,
Golf cart.
that makes more sense.
Yeah, no, that would have been kick ass if he had a go kart. Fuck, I'd have probably stole that son of a bitch.
If it was souped up. But I know,
Oh,
like, even the golf carts, so a lot of guys have those things souped up.
Yeah. Don't
To
use
do.
that secret go karts if you're in the desert fucking metal detecting. Because they got the roofs on them, and you could fucking stop shade and just go real slow and put your metal detector out as you're sitting down there. Old man metal detecting, ride in your golf cart real slow and put the metal detector out with your hand and just swipe it back and forth. Well, I think we've lost a lot of people here.
I'm pretty much ready to shut down too.
Yeah.
But you're, keep her going if you want. I can hang out in the chat there for a bit.
Nah.
Was there anything you wanted or needed to talk to me about after?
Nothing specific.
Okay. It's all good
I
on
mean,
this.
we don't talk at all unless you come up here. So, I mean, it's been cool. It's always cool to talk to you.
I'm all good on this end. I got an early day tomorrow, so I'm just gonna drop down into chat. But it was great chatting with you, and of course having Tom up here was
That was awesome. For sure.
too. Great to see everyone in the chat. I'll be hanging out for a bit.
Thank you again, JM. It's a good life to be trapped in, brother. Alcohol fucks shit up. Never seen anyone make a good decision while drunk. I've seen a lot of people make bad decisions while drunk. So statistics show it's a downward struggle. And having said that, I encourage everyone to watch the movie Caveman with Ringo Starr. Awesome freaking movie. You'll be laughing your ass off. It starts off a little slow with just a few laughing points, but it gets better quick. And it's a good movie to watch. Having said that, I'm gonna let you guys go. Have a good evening.